My skin is always splotchy, cause my clothes are always dirty. And I spent the whole day moving in 90-degree weather, and the sweat soaked into my jeans and watered the bug bites. And I never shave my legs, but I hate to see them hairy. So I just don't wear shorts, because the thought of it is scary. That I've got to put in work to be the person I've been dreaming of. But I'm lazy, and I bum too many cigs. I would rather stay at yours and bus back home. Cause the only thing that's worse than getting up and doing laundry are the things I have to face when I'm alone. So it took about a month to organize my room, cause I'd never really thought of making someplace feel like home. I put flyers on the wall, keep the radiators low, cause I run hot. I get too tired to take the stairs, so I pass out on the love seat. I think that I'm pathetic, but honestly I'm lucky, cause I have a place to stay that's pretty cheap, and I get to have a love seat. But I'm still scared of doing nice things for myself. Oh, I sleep until I miss the setting sun. But we find furniture for free, we put records on to clean. I feel better when I get the dishes done. So we started planning dinners. I made rice and beans with chicken, and we couldn't find cilantro, so we bought a plant to pick from. And it died pretty quick, even though I watered it pretty often. And I don't always take good care of the skin that I am in. It is slow work teaching myself to be kind. So maybe it's not punk, and maybe it's not cool, but while I'm here, I'm learning to put in the time. I'm smoking on my own front porch. I think I can start to learn to treat my body like a temple, not a dorm room. My friends and I will lay down on my couch, take shoes off in my house. This will be a place where we can get some rest. For once I'm smoking on my own front porch, I think I can start to learn to treat my body like a temple, not a dorm room. My friends and I will lay down on my couch, take shoes off in my house. This will be a place where we can get some rest.
Hey there, soldier, what did you do? Just when the world was looking to you to write anything that meant anything. You told us you were through, and it's been years since you passed away. But I see no plague and I see no grave, and I can't help believing you wanted it that way.
Vincent Van Gogh, why do you weep? You were on your way to heaven, but the road was steep. Who was there to break your fall? Guilty one and all.
And I don't know much, but I do know this. With a golden heart comes a rebel fist. I can't help agreeing with those that would not quit.
Well, welcome in, everybody. How's it going? Oh, let me switch to... Hey, I made the rain stop. Crazy, that. Oopsie. Welcome in, Chai. Happy to hear you're getting your nails done. Hope those go well. Make sure to post pictures. I'm sure you will, somewhere. Welcome in. We're going to be doing a ego combat today, but first, yeah, we still have the government shutdown. Those of you that don't know, we failed to, I guess, make an extending resolution, or I guess Democrats are not, you know, being able to make a compromise with Republicans. Republicans aren't willing to make a compromise with Democrats when it comes to a budget bill. So yeah, a lot of government services are getting shut down. We are going to experience layoffs. People are going to have gaps in services that they rely on. It's not great. So first off, we do have, like I said, ego combat, but later we are getting into a little bit more politics content when it comes to the government shutdown. And then after that, I'll probably play 999. I was playing it last night, and I love this game so far. For those of you that don't know, it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle-ish, like, click game, like an escape room kind of game from Chunsoft, and I like it a lot in terms of the story is really cool. I like the puzzles that I've done so far. The only problem is that I've had a problem twice now where I failed to click on a pillow, and I swear that, like, in the second level, I did click on the fucking pillow. Like, it was the first thing I clicked on because it cost me a fucking hour in the first level, right? But apparently I didn't, so I've now been thwarted. I've done all the math puzzles, I've done all the puzzles, right? I want to do more puzzles. So far, the biggest obstacle in this game, the biggest difficulty curve is, did I click the pillow or not? So we will be getting into that later. That's 999. But yeah, first, let's get into our ego combat. And as you guys know, yes, when we have an ego combat analysis, we do have health bars. I will be making chat smaller too. I'll put you somewhere. I'll put you somewhere. Just go over here. You're fine over there, Chai. It's just you for now, Chai. Welcome in. Anyways. Alright, so let me get this set up. This is a pretty old debate. This happened, I think, this is from 6 days ago. Let me get this set up. See, we're going fancy today. All right. So those of you that are familiar with the stream might know the ego combat rules already. So basically, ego combat is this little game that I've made up where there is going to be, like, there's supposed to be more factors that we're going to analyze in every single little debate that we do here, every debate analysis that we do. But basically, the idea is that everybody has a health bar that is essentially their ego HP. How well do they think that they're doing in the debate? Like, how much motivation do they have to continue? And then they have essentially a little shield bar, which we call aura. This is things that are going to be playing well into the venue. Like, you know, if it's somebody's stream that you're going on to and you don't have a platform, that's probably going to be, like, a factor into how strong your aura bar is, like, you know, how much you're going to regain it, everything like that. We're kind of just flying by the seat of our pants right now. I don't have an established system when it comes to this, but it's just basically a little visual analysis thing for now. But let me go ahead and heal player 2. Why no work? Why no work? Why no work? I set this up for a stream. Why no work? No! What happened? Fuck. I hate this. My hotkeys look good. And tools, scripts. Reset the script. Oh, I know why it's not working. I know why it's not working. One, because of this. I figured it out. We're fine, guys. We're fine. Hopefully. Why would this suddenly not work? I'm so annoyed. The only thing that I did is I added a widget for stream elements. Oh my god, that's so annoying. Hello? Okay, so the hotkeys themselves work. So why are my hotkeys on my Stream Deck not working? Oh my god, that's so annoying. It works perfectly fine. What the fuck is going on? I hate this. So it works fine when I do the hotkey input, but not when I just do it here? Why? Oh my god, fuck this. Let me fucking... So mad. Let me try this, and then fix these really quick. Why are my hotkey inputs not working with OBS all of the sudden? The only thing that changed is that I started streaming. So... what? I hate my life. Is it... let's see. Let me see if it works suddenly. Okay, YouTube closed. No, it's not YouTube. Well, that's annoying as shit. I have my freaking Stream Deck and everything, and there's, for some reason, I can't even do a button input that is a hotkey press on my OBS. If I just click the fucking, like, 1 through 5, I can still make it work. But the hotkey on my Stream Deck is just not working for some fucking reason. It's great. I love it. I absolutely, love it. But whatever. Well, okay, so let me see. So 3, 4. Okay, so that's heal. Teal. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get used to. So that's okay. So 7 and 8, 5 and 6, 4 and 3. Okay, and 2 and 1. Okay, I can do that. That's annoying. Whatever. We can make it work. Sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. There is always something happening. Interesting intro, by the way. Here.
Welcome to the Fallen State. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you all for being with me. You can become a member of the Fallen State. You can support us by becoming a member on the fallenstate.tv right there on the YouTube channel or locals.com, and check out our merch.
Yeah,
Check out our merch.
Jesse Lee Peterson. He's a really interesting guy. He's got some interesting opinions. I don't know. Basically, the way I see him, he's kind of getting farmed like a cow. Like, people watch him typically because they think he's really funny and he's weird. But he is also a little bit of a troll. Like, he has a way of weaving conversations in a way that kind of leaves the other person
Punch's coffee. Good. Get Punch's coffee.
He's a very effective. He's a very
shop. I have with
accomplished
me
grifter.
Kyla Turner. She is
Doxing Kyla.
a political commentator and social media influencer. Her channel is called Not So. What's that?
Erudite.
What?
Erudite.
Not So Erudite. What does that mean?
Means scholarly or learned.
So our channel name means not so scholarly or learned.
Really?
Yeah.
And
It's a joke.
Are you a
not so.
scholar?
It's a joke, she says.
You're a person?
Well, I'm not so erudite, so
Oh, you're
it's kind of
not?
a tongue in cheek.
Welcome to the show.
I like science.
I like science. What does that even mean? All right, so we're gonna have to already we're gonna have to like deduct. Oh, that's the wrong one. See, this is why it's annoying. This one. So we're gonna have to deduct some aura points from Erudite already. Her ego HP is getting dangerously low to already. Is getting dangerously close to being impacted already, and we're how many? We're a minute into the video, about 15 seconds into the debate. She has to explain that her name is a joke and that it means not very smart. Also, what's going on with her mic? What's the crusty on Erudite's mic going on? Does anybody else see that? That's why I deducted a second aura point.
Thank you for having me.
What's important to you?
That's a good question. My husband, my faith, and trying to conduct myself well.
Right
Probably
on.
like the top 3. Yeah.
And when you say my husband, do you?
Trying to conduct herself well. That is such a weird, like, core trait to describe yourself as already with Erudite. That's interesting.
You obey your husband?
Yeah, sure.
You obey him?
Yes, I'm very small. I can make myself larger, but
Yeah, a lot of the time.
Nice. And so are you a Christian?
I am.
And why are you a Christian?
I always say he keeps giving me a reason to believe. It's more like, how could I not be? Is kind of more my statement.
Right on. You do you believe that human beings are in a fallen state?
Like theologically?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're in sin. Sure.
Yeah. Amazing, huh?
yeah. Her
Can
fucking
you-
responses
not
are
amazing,
so
not good.
passive. Like, I don't understand it at all. Like, she has this weird, I think that she's had this thing where she's described wanting like a Spartan man as her husband. Like, I think she does have kind of some traditional like values when it comes to her marriage. So I don't think she's completely lying here. But I don't know enough. Like, you know, people are gonna make fun of me for not having fucking lore, but I don't keep up with these fucking internet degenerates enough.
Can you overcome that?
Yeah.
You
Well, sort of. Not on your own.
That's for sure.
You know.
And for those who don't know that, why not on your own you can overcome it? You can't
Well,
overcome it.
if we're being theological, right? As a Christian, all fall short of the glory of God. That's kind of like the premise is like we all sin. We're all in sin. We all need Jesus. That's the reason why we're not supposed to judge each other is because we all got planks. I think if you don't believe in God, I think that gets more complicated, which I'm empathetic to. But if we're talking just about Christians, sorry, you're not Jesus, and none of us are. That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if that's kind of the point. I mean, this is why like a lot of Christians that I know that I guess relate to the most tend to be more spiritualists than biblical, I guess, scholars or people that follow the Bible or follow a specific teaching, because I love the story of Jesus personally, but the veneration of Jesus seems to be like it's almost used by people to aspire for less when it comes to their own personal concept of goodness. And one of my favorite philosophers, Soren Kierkegaard, wrote a little bit about how your connection with God should be a personal one and one that you reflect internally because of that connection. So I think externalizing God into a human in the form of Jesus for a lot of people can be a comparative that can motivate some people to do better or to see, like, to forgive themselves, to have grace for themselves. But I think at the same time, that comparative can make people not really reflect on the nature of goodness of God, that I think is a more personal connection with God that Kierkegaard tried to rationalize in his writing.
The one thing that we're not supposed to do, well, number two primary things we should do: love God with all our heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else and no one else, and to love our neighbor, to love one another. And those are the two things that people don't do. They don't love God, a lot of Christians, and they judge one another. They don't love the neighbor.
True.
I feel like because of Erudite's, actually maybe, I wonder if it's because I have this what if I have this on full screen and this on full screen and that's why it didn't work. That would be great if that just suddenly worked. Anyways. Because even nothing for my stream deck is working when I have
Have you noticed that?
that up.
I feel like, especially, it feels like increasingly there's a lot of hatred.
Yeah.
In America.
And why is that? It's out of control right now.
Yeah. Multiple factors.
There's some subtextual conversations going on. Man, I'm so fucking annoyed that like the ego combat shit is not working very well right now. Like, so this is definitely another attack by Jesse Lee Peterson, a subtle jab towards Erudite, who, as he knows, and she probably understands that this is what's being referenced. She associates with Stephen Bonnell II, otherwise known as Destiny, who is somebody who frequently, since the election, I would say, has taken on the personal responsibility of being the edgy one of the left, who, whenever there's a shooting, whenever there's political violence, he has to draw aggro and say the most inflammatory thing, which is obviously not very Christian, and, yeah.
It depends on which lens you want to talk about why there's so much hatred. We could talk about social media and its impacts on radicalization and the way we view each other. We could talk about wealth disparity. We could talk about theology. I think the reasons why we all hate each other is probably complicated. And I think the worst part about hatred is we all feel justified in it. We're like, yeah, hatred's bad, but like mine's fair. Yeah. I think that's the problem with it, right?
Absolutely.
I do think that's a problem with humans generally, is that even when we have a set of moral prescriptions for how we think the world ought to be, we tend to make exceptions for our own selves that we don't make in others. Yeah.
That's amazing, huh?
Amazing.
And so...
Amazing.
Do you have anger?
Sometimes.
And is it possible to
That little eye shake when she answered sometimes. That little eye shake.
be a child of God, a daughter of God, or a son, and have anger?
I mean, Jesus had anger. So yeah, if we're taking his model, you can have anger. There's sinful anger and there's righteous anger, right? Jesus took a whip of cords to the temple. He's very angry, violent even. So there's a space for righteous anger. But there's also a lot of anger that I think happens that, of course, I'm guilty of too and whatnot. That's not righteous. It's petty. It's vengeful.
And so, what's the difference between righteous anger and non-righteous anger?
I didn't watch this part. I'm interested to see how, or if I did watch this, I didn't focus on this part. I'm interested to see how she answers this because yeah, there were instances where Jesus did show righteous anger towards typically people who did unethical exchanges of money and shit like that. So she can definitely tie this into her worldview. Let's see how she does.
That's tough. I think there's a lot of prayer that has to go into that. I think, for example, when
I fucking hate this woman.
people violate justice, I think a lot of righteous anger can emerge. And I think the problem is that what often happens is when righteous anger, you know about the killing of the Ukrainian girl, I imagine.
Yeah, horrible story.
Yeah. Sorry?
That's an evil story. What happened to her was evil.
Yeah, it's tragic. And there's a lot of people righteously angry about that.
Yeah.
But the problem is that I think the news tries to take your kind of righteous anger, so to speak, and weaponize it for whatever agenda that they might have. And I think when it gets weaponized towards something that is no longer righteous or justice or towards what like
You would think that there is not a single thought going through Jesse Lee Peterson's head right now. But no, in fact, he is. I'm going to get rid of the ego combat stuff, by the way, because I'm not going to do it with stupid fucking... I'm not going to do it without my fucking hotkeys. It's annoying. Get out of here. Anyways. He's currently charging up his next attack. He is currently thinking. Because he started with the whole about that Ukrainian thing, and she's talking about, you know, there's some righteous anger, people are disgusted, he describes it as evil, you know. He's clearly got a fucking angle here.
is moral. That's, I think, where we start slipping into unrighteous anger.
Yeah. What's, you know, speaking of the story with the young girl from Ukraine,
And here he's about to deploy his ult.
what's wrong with the blacks?
Welcome in, Crazy. Good to see you.
I don't know.
The blacks. What's wrong with the blacks?
I don't know. Do you know the story of Stan Lee in Canada?
Not that I'm aware of right now. What is it?
So there was a man in Canada, this Asian man, who had a psychotic episode, and he beheaded and cannibalized another person in a Greyhound bus. This was, I think, 8 to 10 years ago now. So I don't know if this is racial necessarily, this specific situation. But there is an issue that we have to talk about, which is how we handle like.
The problem, like the error that I think Erudite is making here is that she is trying to guess like the rhetorical like strategy that Jesse is employing, when really he's just trying to trip her up with his with his questions, because he understands what's in somebody's mind, what they're already anxious about. He's asking her another question, she stumbles on, and then she's immediately like, well, you know, like there's always these violent people, like these, you know. And this looks like people on the right, especially quote-unquote race realists on the right, use behavior like this from liberals. This avoidant nature of talking about, especially talking about what a you know, a person of color might consider a systemic problem with their culture, right? They are so fucking careful with it. And it just shows that they don't actually have like understandings of the topic at hand to where they can like I feel like they are so worried about saying the wrong thing, or they're so worried about feeding into a narrative that they instead feed into the narrative of liberals don't actually want to talk about Black people.
Like mental health and crime.
But in America, what's wrong with the blacks?
So he redirects and he says, hey, I'm asking you a general question, not about the specific instance. I don't think that this instance is like a Black specific thing, but like what is going on with Black people in America that they're associated so heavily with violent crime in the public eye or like through statistics. What do you say?
You tell me.
No. You're the expert, I'm asking you.
I've never espoused to be the expert on Black people. It's definitely not my expertise.
Have you noticed, not all, but most blacks are very angry.
And I think it's very easy if you are a liberal, like even if you're just a run-of-the-mill liberal, there's a boilerplate answer to this. Anytime somebody tries to get you to to stereotype, to like categorize a whole group of people as a certain way, you know what you say? Well, if you want to talk about systemic factors that might be contributing, like the Black populace as a whole, we can talk about that. But typically, I mean, I don't think about the Blacks. Black people are individuals. I just treat them as individuals. They each have different struggles, and I'm not going to understand what is the quote-unquote Black struggle if I just treat Black people as some fucking homogenous, group.
And violent.
Which, if he's doing that as well, you can even say, well, Jesse, why are you doing that?
Today?
I don't know if I've found that they're all angry and violent. I think that there is higher rates of it within that population.
And
but
why is that?
I think it's complicated, right? I think some of it is born in righteous anger, and some of it's been what we talked about, weaponized for unrighteous causes.
As a white lady, do you...
That's such a weird thing to say.
feel concerned because right now there's a genocide on white people, white women being knocked out, raped, and robbed on the streets, and no one cares about the white people.
He asked that because he's a provocateur, because he wants to trip Erudite up. That's literally the only reason why.
Does it concern you that there's a genocide on white people today?
I don't know if I would agree with that framing. I've not heard about the genocide on white people, I'm afraid.
You don't know about the knockout?
More, once again, race realist, great replacement talking points. He is towing the line. He is trying to get a reaction out of her. He is just fucking with her.
And then killing them.
Actually, I don't know if I know enough about Jesse Lee Peterson personally to know if he is if he is hateful towards himself. I don't think he's hateful towards Black individuals, but I think that he espouses the lines of he is basically being like an Uncle Ruckus type character for especially for a lot of racist people online. But he is also a troll. He's good at making these left-wing white people kind of squirm and look a little bit foolish because he is fucking weird. He's a fucking what's the word? I don't know, a confusing person.
And the rape is of white women and knocking out white men.
I'm being racist by comparing him to Uncle Ruckus, by the way. I fully recognize that.
And all that.
No, I haven't.
You're not aware that that's going on?
I don't know if I've heard of it being called a white genocide. I don't know if I have seen any evidence of like specifically white targeting. I think most violence, for example, if you're blaming like Black people, I think most violence to Black people is also done by Black people.
Well, that's happening too, but most violence done by whites to whites are done by Blacks.
I don't know if that's true, if I'm being honest. I haven't prepped the stats on that, but I'd have to see if that's true.
I read that you...
I don't like that. I think the actual statistic is something like 15%, and this is true like across all ethnic groups. All ethnic groups, about 15%, which is portion of the population in America for Black people, are done by Black people. Same for and the majority of the like it's always the same ethnicity. Like it's always white on white, Asian on Asian, black on black, because there is just still some like there are racial pockets in America. Like there are racialized pockets, I guess, in America, not through any reason than just like people moving to areas and, you know, what's the word? Developing them. But it's not like anything more than that. And I think if you look at it, like white people are still a higher percentage of offenders for most other groups. Like it's just, I don't know. This seems like the sort of thing that you could just kind of ask him about. If you weren't sure, you could be like, that doesn't sound right. I feel like it was closer to like a percentage of the population.
Liberal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I did not say that clearly. I apologize. I'll get better as time goes on.
Yes, I'm liberal.
And what does it mean to be a liberal? What does that mean to you?
So I believe in a couple of things: strong institutions, a social safety net, and some level of valuing for kind of like social unity under core principles.
And how is it possible to be a Christian?
I would okay, honestly, what she just described, I would describe more as progressivism than liberalism, like, because it's specifically like when I describe liberalism, I think of it as a removal of like restrictions, like facilitation of commerce through contract and stuff. Like I don't know, like
And a liberal.
it's an interesting description of liberalism.
Very possible. I don't think your faith should be underneath your politics. I think if you think that these two things must be kind of hierarchically organized, that's probably an issue.
But liberals are like...
This is why Erudite comes off as a fake Christian, because I know Christian liberals who don't like get tripped up by these sorts of things. I mean, you can say it's not a hierarchy, but if you're going to say that I'm a human first and I have been endowed with, you know, these certain things by my creator, then your basis for your government is informed by your Christian beliefs in like unalienable rights and certain like freedom of choice, because if you don't have freedom of choice, then you can't necessarily like sin, right? So like I don't know, I feel like liberalism and Christianity are pretty compatible, at least in the terms of like modern Christianity and like its interpretations. Even like some like, I don't know, like the fucking 1400s people were talking about this distinction.
They tend to be, they believe in socialism. They believe in free stuff, you know.
I don't know if Jesus was opposed to free stuff. I'm not a socialist. Not all liberals are the same, right? Like there's a lot of
That is true. I do believe that Erudite hates the fact that she was born a woman.
camps in the liberal space.
Oh, I see. And
I can actually relate to her a little bit on that, but like the fact that she is not engaging, I guess, with she does give unhappy trans energy.
what type of liberal are you?
I'm not the socialist type, that's for sure. I'm like a standard democracy capitalist lib. Yeah,
So
the leftists would say a liberal, a lib.
So you wouldn't fit, are you a feminist?
And the reason that people say the word lib, just a lib, with such fucking derision these days is because these people are absolutely fucking feckless. Like, they have nothing to them. Their politics is hollow. Their politics is, I want to be on the winning side, and the winning side is against Trump, and Trump is such a fucking big bad that you don't actually have to think about your ideology. You don't have to think about like different problems plaguing the country like in a nuanced way, and you don't actually have to have a core basis to your worldview that like allows you to navigate those things without having to fucking have long form discussions or listen to your favorite streamer fucking rant about it for 2 hours.
Yeah, not one that many own, but yes.
So are you a liberal feminist?
Like, to be very clear, I'm very bad with my words. Like, I'm especially when it's like speaking out loud on stream. However, I have the tact to know to present my level of knowledge appropriately, right? But when I talk about politics, when I talk about why I vote a certain way, I should be engaging enough with my beliefs and with like the political landscape to be able to explain it in more than just like, freedom and choice. And, I just think that we should lift people up. We should have social safety nets and whatever. It's like, explain why you think that is good. Why should that even be a function of the state? If you're a Christian, why do you think that social safety nets should be a function of the state? That's a big fucking question.
Am I a liberal feminist? Probably not. Because that's like do you know much about
You're definitely not a feminist at all.
like the feminist civil war that's going on right now?
Not a lot, but they hate men and they want to take over.
I do. I think they all agree at least that we don't like Peterson, but yeah, there's a lot of factions. Some of them have a whole island, like Britain is like the feminist space that doesn't like trans people. Yeah, there's a lot of infighting amongst feminists. So liberal feminist is like a specific label. I'm not a liberal feminist in like the feminist philosophical framework.
Just his expressions when he's listening to her are so fucking great.
Are you a millennial or a Z?
I'm like the tail end of a millennial. I'm 31.
Oh, okay. And so how does your parents feel?
I don't think that's the tail end of a millennial. I think that's actually like right in the middle of a millennial. Am I wrong about that?
About you being a Christian and a liberal?
They're okay with it.
Yeah.
They're conservative, but they I think in Canada especially, our politics are very our faith is first and our politics are second. So we disagree on certain things.
No, she's pretty firmly in the middle of the millennial generation,
especially like politically.
She's only
but
a year.
It doesn't change.
God,
like,
she's a year younger than I am. I feel, I actually, the older I get, the more I realize I actually do look fairly fucking young, but I think it's just because I don't take care of myself. I don't dress myself. Jesus. Every time I feel bad about my appearance, I just look at Lauren Boebert and then I look up her age.
In front that we like believe in the same God and the same faith. And
I'm not a feminist either, by the way.
And that we,
if you couldn't tell,
worship the same God.
I am, but I'm the weirdest fucking feminist in the world.
And they know that you're a feminist liberal?
They do, yeah.
And do they complain about that or they accept it?
No, it's more like teasing and jokes. In Canada, politics is very different in Canada than America. Politics is like, in America, it's like your tribe. Whereas...
By the way, I think the only analysis of like femininity that Erudite has ever been has probably been her own personal feelings of discomfort with her own femininity. So I don't think she's done any like structural analysis of femininity at all. So that's why I say I don't think she has the capacity to be a feminist, because she can't overcome her own self-hatred, I think, to understand like, I guess the place of womanhood and the even like the dialectic of feminism.
In Canada, we have like 7 parties federally.
She probably sees it all as silly. I mean, I'm a bit of a gender abolitionist as well, and that's typically why I don't tend to call myself a feminist, is because, yeah, I do find more utility when I'm analyzing these structural problems that plague women to, like, the less I essentialize it to being just a problem that women face, like, the easier it is for me to actually understand it.
So
there's probably some fucking theory people that could explain that better.
It's pretty normal to vote, like municipally you vote NDP, and provincially you might vote conservative, and federally you might vote like liberal. So we're just a lot less like diehard on our parties.
And maybe, you know what, maybe Erudite has that same belief, but she didn't articulate it.
And I think that really changes the way that we experience politics compared to like Americans, where it seems like politics is very identity tied for Americans.
And how did you get so involved in politics, and why?
That's a good question.
By the way, this is just legitimately a very good interview of Erudite. It's a shame that she is giving such dog shit answers, but these are actually interesting questions.
I think I've just always been very interested in learning. I love philosophy, and Aristotle is my favorite philosopher. And so...
I hate her so much.
He has this rule that politics is like one of the greatest forms of philosophizing. So I think I very naturally moved into politics because of my interest in philosophy. Yeah.
You fucking know, fucking Aristotle, bro. You fucking know, like, fucking Socrates. Bro, you ever heard of fucking Plato's Cave? I fucking love philosophy.
Would you ever run for office?
In America, I
Yeah.
can't. So
Oh, you
definitely
can
not.
in America, right?
Yeah.
Would you ever be interested in doing something like that? Even though
Probably
you can't do it in
not.
Canada, in America.
Probably not. No.
You have kids?
No.
Oh, okay. I noticed that ever since women have been allowed to vote, that everything just been screwed up and it's getting worse.
Yeah, I pretty much feel the same, Chai. I'm not a feminist, but I'm also not an anti-feminist. I don't know. I don't like. I definitely don't ingest enough feminist theory to call myself a feminist and to engage with other feminists in feminist like conversation. So yeah, but yeah, I also understand its utility, and I think especially as like a personal like analysis of like misogyny and misandry, I feel like always are best when applied through a personal lens. Like even if you have somebody that you think is their behavior is influenced by like say a misogynistic belief, like as an outsider, you're never really going to get them to properly confront that. It should come from a lack. So for me personally, my understanding of femininity came after I, started to detransition and I was trying to find more of my feminine identity. It was in feeling like feeling incongruence like with women essentially is what made me understand more about feminism. So I think that men as well, when they explore feminism, I feel like it best comes from a place of I have this incongruence with women. I cannot properly like relate and analyze to the struggles of women in my life. Maybe if I understand feminism, I can like put a framework over their experiences that helps me like helps me communicate with them better. I feel like is the best way to go about it.
Was it a mistake to allow women the rights to vote?
No, I think it's like the morally correct position. I think it is part of the American project. Agency.
This is a crazy fucking turn in the conversation, by the way.
Is really, really important, both in our faith. Choice is salvation, and in the American project. So, no, giving women the choice is good.
So was it a good thing or a bad thing to allow them to vote, though?
It's good.
It's good. Good.
It's moral.
I'm sorry?
It's moral.
It's the good thing. It's the moral thing to do.
But why is it the moral thing and when they...
Now, I actually think this is a really interesting point from Erudite, but we'll see if she can explain it well, that it is the good thing, it is the moral thing. Why is morality tied to allowing choice?
They were not, or a good thing, when they were not allowed to vote, America was amazing.
So objectively, he thinks that there were more good things when women aren't allowed to vote. He's directly tying this to the ability for women to vote, not any other factors. There are economic factors that led into what was called the American Golden Age. That was heavily actually like we basically had a command economy during that time. Like we had companies that were told what to produce and they produced it. They were given grants from the government to shore up the war effort, and after that, we came out of an economic recession and we had a lot of industry after that. And that had nothing to do with women having it's kind of like what time period is he pointing towards when he says things were better?
But once they allowed them to vote, they want free health care. They want free babysitting services. They want us to pay.
And you could point out that free healthcare and services for children and stuff like that were things that were sought after by the Black community.
Pay for all that. They want...
And socialism in America has a long history with the struggle for civil rights by African Americans.
To save the...
But Erudite doesn't know jack shit about this.
Blacks, and they want daycare. They want us to pay for everything. And they always vote the wrong way because of their emotional and mental capability. They tend to be like unable to make the right decision because their psyche is not logical. And as a result, the country going to hell in a handbasket.
I don't know why I love this reaction from Erudite. Like she's so fucking autistic. I do
It's
have to
not
admit that
logical.
like
And as a result, the country going to hell in a handbasket. Do you agree
So
with that?
she's endearing enough that like I don't know. I do love watching her, but I fucking hate her opinions. I think she's so fucking like just for what she's trying to accomplish and like so much of her identity is clearly motivated by this thing that she wants to present to the world, like this person that she wants to be. Um she's a fascinating fucking person, honestly. She wants to be, you know, this erudite person. She wants to be uh scholarly. She does want to come off as somebody who can mend bridges when she's in conversations. But the thing that I noticed the most when Erudite's actually having conversations is that like the thing that shines through the most is that she's just so fucking autistic. She's just so bad at actually like riffing. And you see this with Destiny too. It makes sense why we didn't go through it. Might actually watch it after this so I can demonstrate this exact same thing. When Destiny had his conversation with Nick Mullen right before the fucking blow up and shit like that, he fucking could not riff. Like Nick is a funny guy and he could not be funny with Destiny because Destiny was just hyper analytical and like kind of on guard. And you see that here. I feel like Erudite could have a fun conversation with Jesse Lee Peterson, as crazy as he is, like, and not be so stiff. Like she just comes off so I just hate her. I don't know. She just
no. Do you think that America in 1880
I love how like 1 second I'll be like, I love Erudite, she's so quirky, and then I'll be like, I fucking hate this bitch.
is bigger, stronger, and more American than America in like the 1980s?
I think America was better before women had the right to vote than it is
So
today.
1880 America was better, even though Britain was a superpower.
It still was better than it is today. Because now that, if you notice, now that the women are allowed to vote, and there's, according to reports, more women than men, socialism is coming about, men's jobs are being taken away from them, men's children are being taken away from them because, of course, are on the side of the woman. And
Once again, you could use this against him if you were a little bit more daring. You could ask him, okay, well, what about before, you know, what about before the civil rights movement? Okay, what about before, you know, like
everything is insane because even cars are soft and
because if you wanted to say things have been getting worse, you know, you should have to like she should be asking him, by what metrics do you think things have been worse? Do you think it's the economy? Do you think it's like people's moral fiber? Do you think it's the general function of like human to human communication? Like what's worse?
they don't make noise anymore because the women complain about the noise.
It's
They
probably more old people, but my suspicion. It's usually old people that make noise complaints, or people with young children versus women.
no, it's a woman's thing. Men love loud cars.
Why did God give us the right to choose? Why does he make salvation a
Okay, so like I said, she gets back to this argument. Why did God give us the right to choose? Why do we have the ability to choose? And what does that impart onto us as humans from our creator?
choice?
God didn't give you the right to choose.
He did. He put the tree of evil. He made choice right from Adam and Eve.
Right. But that was only because he wanted man to know that he's not going to force you to love him. You have to love him or not love him. But what does that have to do with women voting?
Well, if God views choice as more important than sin, right? Because if he hadn't put the tree of good and evil in the garden, that we wouldn't have ever had a choice to do sin. And so if God
it wasn't about tempting us to do sin. It was so like the whole purpose of choice. I don't think it had anything like I honestly I'm not enough of a biblical scholar to know like specifically like if choice had something to do with the Garden of Eden and God's like communications to Adam and Eve. However, the general concept behind why we have choice is because we should be able to freely love. We should be able to freely worship. It should not be coerced. We should be free to come to this decision and therefore free to have error as well. This is what gives us the capacity to love and to do good and to like spread, you know, God's will or whatever you want to call it.
valued our ability to choose, even though he knew we would choose wrong, who are we in the American project to say, okay, well, we know better, and actually we're going to take away people's right to choose because we're actually better than God in this way. It seems very directional with salvation, that agency is like the most important thing, because if you don't have choice, then it means that you are simply a slave to doing good things by necessity, and that isn't a good world at all.
Okay, so she does kind of she explains it fairly well.
The person who can look at evil and look at good and choose good anyways, that's noble, and we need to make, like, God makes a space for us to do that, despite the fact that even with God, we choose wrong every single day.
But
It's really just that we literally cannot be good if we are slaves. We cannot, if we cannot make the choice to love, then we cannot do actual, like, good in this world.
God only gave us.
And that could be extrapolated into an argument for why women morally deserve choice, because women should be bestowed the same godly duty as men when it comes to presiding over their country, their people, their community, and ushering it towards prosperous things for everybody. You could say that. It seems pretty coherent.
There's one choice, and that choice is to come out of hell if we want. You can live in your misery all of your life, or you can realize, you know what, I'm tired of living in hell. And emotional people are living in hell, right? And so you decide.
So he kind of just immediately sweeps to the side. All right, you made a decent point. Let me go to the next thing.
You know what, guy, I'm tired of living this way.
Which is why overall Erudite, like, even though, like I said, she makes very decent points in this, I think that she because of the interview, like, it's an interview format, she's not really going back and, like, making him make a coherent sort of argument, or like his line of questioning is clearly just, what can I get out of her on this next topic? Moving on. So now he's inserting, like, basically he's not responding to anything that she's saying, but by moving forward the conversation, the next thing he's saying, okay, I don't have anything to say to it, I don't have anything to riff off of this, but I'm not convinced. Next thing, let's the next wall.
Help me out of it. That's the only choice you have. Or he'll just leave you in your hell. You have no other choice.
Well, I feel like even once you choose God, like, Christians still do sin, right?
But they don't choose God. But what does that have to do with women voting, though? That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's about choice, right? The reason why I think women voting is good is because it's giving them more choice.
But women don't make choices. They don't know how to make the right choice because they're so emotional.
So women can't sin?
They're so women are so emotional and illogical, they can't make the right choice.
Okay, is he going to answer the question, though? Does that mean women can't sin? If women don't have agency, if they don't have the capacity to make the quote-unquote right choice, the good choice, then what is the purpose of them having free will, like, to begin with, essentially? And therefore, like, can women have the same access to, like, divine, I guess, reflection? Question mark? I don't know how to say that better. Like, it's just, this is definitely a very, anti-women view of Christianity, that we are literally demons. We aren't created in the image of God. We are created flawed, apparently.
Have you noticed that?
But I guess I'm asking, like, if women can't choose, then they can't sin. They're just kind of like
I don't know
robots.
what that had to do with that.
Well, sin is about choice, right? Like, if I steal cookies and my parents go, Kyla, did you steal cookies? And I go, no, I've made a choice to lie to my parents in that moment, right?
No.
No?
The only choice that human
No, you didn't make a choice to lie to your parents in that moment.
being has is to whether they want to come out of their misery. If you realize, you know what, I don't like living this way, I'm unhappy, I'm
And now he's just gonna waffle.
miserable, or have fear and all that, I want out. That's the only choice they make. You never make a choice in your whole life after that. And you're not making a choice before that.
So is God making you sin when you are a Christian who acts in sin? Christians sin, right?
What does that have to do with women voting? I'm trying to understand that.
Choice, right? Like, God, you said God only allows you to have one choice. And it's like, well, no, God, even when you choose him, he actually asks you to choose him every single day. Bear your cross every day, right? And so
No.
She could have turned this into, okay, so you're saying the only choice that we really have is to lift ourselves out of despair, to lift ourselves out of sin. So if women have a system imposed by them, like do you think that the democratic system in any way allows for a moral society, like a more moral society through choice, like because we can, we can choose to have like a better way of, we can choose to engage in more ethical structures of government, we can choose to vote for more ethical structures of government. If a woman is in an unethical structure of government, she doesn't have the ability to choose to lift herself out of despair. She doesn't have the ability to change her circumstances. She doesn't have the ability to work towards the same freedom that other people have. Therefore, like, it doesn't make sense with what he said. Because then those women don't truly have like a choice, because despair can be imposed on you from an external thing. Like you can choose to not react to like horrible things happening to you, sure. But I don't see how that's a component of godliness at all.
God allows us to choose constantly. He's constantly allowing us the space to choose to sin or not to sin, even as Christians, every single day. That's why we need him every day. We don't need God once in our life. We need God every single day because we have the choice to do noble or ignoble. And if God values choice to that level, we probably should too.
So I guess you're not going to answer the question about what is that. Since women are so illogical,
oh my God,
emotionally and mentally, they can't make the right decision. Why would they be given the right to vote when they don't know what they want?
I have to say, like, if they don't have the right to vote, how can they, like, they don't have access to the same ability to remove themselves from despair and to prosper. They don't have the ability to, like, create the world in the image of God through their communion of God.
I guess I'm saying to you, I think women can make choices. I think women can sin. I think women make choices all the time. You might not agree with the choices that they make, but for us to call their actions wrong, we either have to say, well, they're just meat robots that can't help but doing evil things, or we have to say women are choosing bad things. But if they're meat robots, then they're more like children. We don't get like mad at children for like doing the wrong thing when they don't know better. We like teach them better. But I don't view women that way. I think women are adults that can make choices. They can make bad choices and good choices. I just believe in a system where we allow them to make those choices, including allowing them to make bad choices, because I think that's what's modeled for us in our faith.
Do you agree with me that the God above is the man's God, and the God below, Satan, is the woman's God?
I mean,
no, I think God made all of us in his image.
That's not what I asked her. I know he made all of us, but do you agree? Did the woman come from God or from the man?
She came from his rib, but I don't think Adam made her, right? Eve was made by God, and he put his breath into her.
But did she come from the man, or did she come from God?
Genuinely, I think God created humanity. So
that's not what
God.
I'm asking, though. But did the woman come from the man or from God?
She came from God.
She looks like she's being held hostage.
No. Did the man come from God or the woman?
God.
I'm sorry?
Man comes from God too.
And the woman came from who? Whom?
God.
No.
She came from his rib. Well, Adam didn't make Eve. Like, I don't think men are not God.
But did God take the woman out of the man and created her?
God did, yeah.
And so she's created his image.
In God's image, yeah.
No, the man's image.
Well, we have breasts. We have
the
like,
man
we're literally not made in his image.
The man is created in God's image, and the woman is created in the man image. Am I right?
Well, I feel like men and women are really different, right?
They are. But
so if we were made in man's image, then he did a bad job of making us look like men. We're pretty different. I feel like we are made by God, and God made us different to complement one another. But you may feel that way,
but did the woman...
You can say taking something out of somebody and creating another human, if that technically means that you come from them and are of them, then, you know, you could easily twist this into a fucking pro-abortion argument. This is a very weird line of fucking dialogue from Jesse Lee Peterson, but he's basically trying to just get a fucking semantic win of, she technically came from his rib, therefore women were made in the image of man is flawed, therefore women worship a flawed god, Satan, question mark?
come from man or did she come from God?
God.
No.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't think that human beings, even man, is creating life in the way that God is. God breathed
God
life
gave the
into
life to
human
the
beings.
woman. God took the woman from the man's body and created her, but he created the woman in the man's image and created God in his image.
Then why do they look so different?
They
If
don't.
she's made
One
man and
is
women look very
softer.
different.
If you look, women are created like men. They have breasts like a man. They just made to have babies, so they get milk, all the kind of things that men don't
Yeah,
get. But the
they're really
woman is
different.
created in the man's image, and he is created in God's image. So is Satan? Did you know that the woman God is the God from below, and the man's God is the God from above?
You might want to listen, Erudite. This guy is probably going to meet Jesus soon.
Don't think that that's a Christian belief. No.
And why not?
I would say that that's heretical. No,
It's taught
that's
in the
not true.
Bible why it's not a Christian belief.
Because women and man are both made by God. God calls both women and men to act in his image, and both of them can achieve salvation by faith in him. This is obvious by women being Deborah, women being used by God multiple times, Deborah the priestess. Like there's multiple
But
instances in which
Deborah
God is.
was led by men. She didn't make her own decision. The men instructed her on the decisions to make. But let me ask this about
That's not true.
about the
That's not true
woman
about Deborah.
being about the woman God. Remember in the Bible,
Erudite with this like 1 HP voice too with some of her rebuttals. Like she just needs to be like, that's not true. Just pull a like take a note from him. Just be like, that's not true. No?
in the Word, where once upon a time Adam
Erudite cannot help but be led by men though.
had a relationship with God, and then his wife Eve loved him, had a relationship with him, and all three were one because the woman believed in the husband who believed in the father. You know about that, right?
It sounds like when you read the Bible,
So yeah, please just get into interpretations of the Bible now, Erudite, because he's just using the words of the Bible without context. You should know this. You're a Christian.
God was engaging with both of them when they were found in sin. Both were ashamed of their nudity. It seems like God had a relationship with both of these individuals. I don't think God only engaged with Adam.
He did, but it was through the husband that he had the relationship with the wife. Because
I don't know.
the
I don't think
husband-
that there's biblical
the
evidence
husband
for that.
Adam and the father were one, and when they married, the woman became one with the husband, which was one with God. And then one day, the woman had to go shopping, and she went to the market,
Women do be shopping.
and she ran up on Satan. And Satan had already tried to tempt Adam, and Adam said, "No, get out of here. Not going to listen to the lie."
I don't think there's any
And
biblical
so
evidence that
the
Adam had been
woman-
tempted first.
The woman went to the market, and she met Satan there. And Satan was like, "Hey, Eve, how are you?" She's like,
Hey, bitch.
"Fine." And he asked her, "You still with that man?" And she like, "Yeah, I am. I love my husband." And he like, "You could be your own woman. You don't have to listen to that man." She's like, "No." Long story short, she went home, made dinner. They were having dinner, she and Adam. And she like, "I saw Satan today at the market." And Adam like, "Stay away from him. He's trying to deceive you. Don't believe the lie." And she's like, "Okay." And then she went back a second time or another time. And she ran into Satan again. And Satan said to her, "Adam, you still with that woman? I mean, Eve, you still with that man?" Like, "Yeah." Don't listen to him.
Is
He
this all in
listened
like the
to-
Mormon book?
he
I
like-
don't think I've read this in the
he
Bible,
like,
but
"Don't
maybe it's in
listen
the
to
Mormon
him.
Bible.
He
I'm not
listened
sure.
to his father. He's not even his own man. You could be your own woman. You could take your bra off. You could do what you want. And she
He
believed
did say that. He did say that verbatim. Welcome in, Spore.
lie. And the moment she believed that lie, she no longer believed her husband. They became separated, and Satan became her God. And then Adam couldn't believe it. Like, "What have you done, Satan? Eve, you listen to the devil. Now you can't believe the truth. You don't obey me anymore."
You know, even when the American, like, when the point in American history this guy harkens back to as being, like, the grand old days women still controlled most of the purchasing power. Like they were the ones that were advertised to primarily. Like advertisement to men specifically was definitely a more recent invention. Women were the ones that were typically seen as making choices in terms of purchases. So I mean, like, if the problem was that we were going out in the market and had independence, we're still fucking we've been doing that.
Anything. And then
And yeah, he looks very weird. He looks like he's had surgery to look that way.
Eve became very
I don't know
puffed
why
up
that would be the
because now
case.
she know about evil and good. So she finally convinced Adam, Adam, you don't have to listen to your father. You could be like me. You can know good and evil. You can judge. You can play God and everything. And Adam listened to the woman, and then the woman became his God because he could no longer believe the father. Father.
Yes, he looks like he's wearing someone else's face. He looks like... Man. I don't want to say... I don't know.
Like, what have you done, Adam? He's like, well, you gave me that woman. You made...
He reminds me of Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder.
I listened to that woman. And he said, well, because you listen to the woman, you're going to suffer. And so every time the man listens to his woman today,
he looks like a dude pretending to be the other dude.
He suffers. And then the evil that come through to the children come through the woman because her nature, until she's truly born again of God, her nature is evil because she has no love, and it's passed on to the children.
What is blood waffling about?
Generation after generation after generation. Have you noticed that as a Christian?
Maybe there's a new version of the message that I haven't read, but I don't remember that being
read Genesis.
if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I understand that. Read Genesis. It's in the fall of Adam and Eve.
I don't remember anything about dinner.
You would see where Satan is the woman's God and the God above. Well, until that man overcome the woman is his God. That's why men don't know what to do with women, because they got to overcome mama, forgive their mother so they can come back to the father. So that's why read that so you'll see, since you're a Christian, you will see why Satan is the woman's God and evil come through the woman.
I think if any notable actual religious leader had come to that,
I would say your God is a false God, and we will usher in the fucking great revival or
conclusion,
whatever.
I might be open to you. I don't think anyone theologically agrees with you. But again, maybe I haven't read the new version. I don't know if this is like the Mormon Bible or the Message or something.
It's not the new version. It's in the King James Bible.
This is not
period.
Genesis, right?
What is a notable? What did you say? Notable what?
Theologian?
What's a notable theologian?
Somebody that's respected typically in the field and study of like theology. They've probably got like a PhD in theology. They've probably gone to seminary. The Catholics have a system by which they kind of develop a theological kind of like seminary system. Protestants have their own system, but kind of somebody who rises through the ranks in there to study the Bible.
Those people wouldn't know God if you had lunch with them. They're intellectually separated from God, and an intellectual person cannot know God. They can know about him, they can read about him and talk about him, but they can't know him.
So pastors don't know God?
No.
Oh.
Have you noticed that?
I disagree. So.
Why?
Who the fuck knows God then?
I think there's a lot of really godly people in this world. I think there's a lot of good thinkers that God tries to speak through. And
really?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Were women created to lead or to follow?
I think originally to be like kind of like a support character in the relationship. I think that's like
How you just argued with him how you were both created in fucking in God's image, and no, you're a support character. God, Erudite, stop.
shifted over time though.
So were they created to lead or to follow?
I think I said they were probably created originally to be, I think he said complementary to Adam, right? Adam can't bear children. Men tend to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit less good at building relationships and community. So I think Eve was built to complement all of the weaknesses that man has.
And so were women created to lead or to follow?
Neither.
I'm sorry?
Neither.
Neither. And is it...
well, I guess follow in the same way that I think Adam was built to follow, I suppose.
Follow who?
God.
and the woman is supposed to follow the
God.
man.
God.
Right.
If a woman is putting man over God, that's a problem. God has to come first for every single person.
But a woman that has put God first will naturally obey and follow her husband without any contest.
I think there's a lot of good reasons for why women engage in submission with their husbands. Yeah.
Speaking of women leaders, have you noticed that ever since they put women in leadership role in our government, in churches, even in the home when the father's not there to guide her how to raise the children, have you noticed that everything get worse? Because the man is the light of the family. If he's not there, the woman can't find her way in raising children or anything. Have you noticed in America and around the world, when they allow women to be in a leadership role, things only get worse?
I haven't found that to be consistently true, but I think in general, women are not taught and reared in general to be like efficient in leadership. I think in general, we teach boys how to lead in a way that we often don't teach young girls to lead. So in many ways, I think women can be weaker leaders, but there are still like good female leaders.
So getting back to Kierkegaard, the reason I just think it's very interesting. Like, Kierkegaard's somebody who wrote a lot about women's like position in the household, and like he was like, a lot of his writing was influenced by patriarchal feelings at the time, especially when it came to like the benefit of religious structure for society. However, he also did have writings where he talked about how he does talk about the specific connection women have to God through that lens as well. Because of his essential views on women, he did see them as having certain qualities that benefited humanity as a whole. Therefore, he saw them as having a personal relationship with God, and that's essential for them to actually have a connection with their, belief in goodness.
But men are not taught to be leaders. It's natural. It's in the DNA. It comes naturally. You have to teach a woman how to be a leader, but because she wasn't created to be a leader, it doesn't work. She tried to make herself be something she can't be. Have you noticed that?
So you think that like Joe Biden was a good leader?
Who?
As a man? Joe Biden.
Joe Biden?
Yeah, was
Joe
he a good
Biden
leader?
didn't even know he was
As a man.
president.
Well, he's a man. If they're
But he
made
didn't
to
have
be-
the right mindset, so that's different.
Oh, okay. So
He was woman-brained.
we
Welcome
just pick
in,
Obama.
Lamb.
How about the Great White Hope?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know the Great White Hope?
Nope.
They call him king.
Are we talking about Trump? All I'm guessing is we're talking about Trump.
They say, what manner of man is this? The wind and sea obeys him. They call him daddy. Would you say and I call him the Great White Hope. Donald Trump, would you say he's a good leader?
No, I think like
No?
no. Yeah, I'll say no. I'll end at no.
And why no?
I think the fact that basically none of his staff from his first term wanted to come back and work with him indicates that his staff distrusted him, disliked him, didn't respect him. There's something going on that made none of them willing to come back.
So Donald Trump is there now. He's been there for a minute. Do you think he's a good leader?
Yes, Erudite is definitely intellectually... Oh, should I have to find the other headphones in? My headphones died. They're always dying on me in the middle of a stream. Anyways. Yeah, this is definitely an even intellectual match, at least when it comes to, like, debating Christianity. I feel like if there was, like, a Bible nerd versus this guy, this would be a much more interesting conversation on theology, and it would at least make... It would have Jesse a lot... Like, he would be on the ropes, I feel like. But because she's just talking... Like, she has this inconsistent worldview when it comes to... Like... her ideas of Christianity towards herself, because I feel like she's insincere in her own faith. She can't even express it in a way that is consistent with her politics. Like, and that's pretty much just what this is. It's just him, like, just catching her out on shit, and her, like, she can explain some stuff well. Like, she explained the reason of choice kind of okay.
And why not?
I think that he's leading the country towards greater levels of disunity.
Of what?
Of disunity.
Meaning what? What do you mean by that?
Meaning that, like, a divided America is a broken America.
When has America been, in the last 70 years, when has America been one, united?
Under Jimmy Carter, there was
No,
some
it
good
wasn't.
stuff. Under
Uh-uh.
Reagan,
Not true.
there was
Not
there was a lot
true.
of unity
Not
under
true.
Reagan. There was a fair bit of unity that emerged under Bush for a while. Like we don't achieve perfect
There-
unity.
that's not
for a
true. What the?
It is true. Under
What-
Bush
what-
initially, there was a lot of uniting under him. The issue is that the Iraq War became a major issue in his presidency, and he had a lot of fracturing, not just from the left, from the right as well. Right. So there has been great bouts of unity, and I think it's good when the country
Usually around mass death, yeah.
unites.
What is Donald Trump doing? But the country has not been united in a long time.
I
Good
agree,
and
that's
evil
bad.
would never unite at all.
Sure, and they shouldn't. I just think that most people are a mixture of both things, and a good leader aims to pull out the good that exists.
And you don't.
A democracy, like there's no precondition for like a uniting between, you know, opposing political ideologies as such, where you would see one as all good and all evil. Like, the idea is that the forces of good would prevail, therefore be expressed through the democratic process.
all
See
people.
Donald Trump doing that?
He's pretty antagonistic with anybody who opposes him, including his own teams, right? He
No,
wants to fire
that's
Jerome
not right.
Powell. Well, he wants to fire Jerome Powell, who he hired.
But it's also why you put God above the state, is because you do elect people in the state, but you shouldn't see the state as a mandate for goodness. You shouldn't see the state as a mandate for morality, nor law as a mandate for morality. It is just a structure to create a more moral society.
That guy's against Trump. He should get rid of his enemies.
Why?
Why
It's your,
would you
it's
keep
your-
your enemy in your home?
I would certainly keep them potentially. People who counter my opinion, I would absolutely keep on my business board, for example. Otherwise, your enemies and people who oppose you are some of the most gifted at seeing your flaws
Not true.
and pointing out areas that you need. Of course, it is true.
No.
I believe in not just talking to people of opposite viewpoints, but seeing the strengths of
Yeah.
people with the opposite view. Do you disagree that you shouldn't talk to people of different mindsets?
No, you should talk to. I talk to anyone all the time, anytime. But
Yeah.
I would have if I know that they're my enemy, and I'm working to make things better. Ain't no way I keep my enemy in my company. That doesn't make sense. Why does that make sense to you?
I think if everyone who disagrees with you becomes an enemy, you're probably the common denominator.
See, that's why you can't have women as leadership. They're emotional. But let me ask.
It's emotional about that.
They can't make the right decision. You would keep your enemy in your company, and that makes sense to you.
I would keep my opposition. in
and
my
that makes
company.
sense to you to keep your enemy in your company.
I would definitely, there's an old war law that you definitely want to keep your enemy closest because you want to know what they're up to.
So
But
it
I
makes
don't think
sense to
Jerome
you
Powell,
to keep your enemy in your company.
well, the issue is you're framing anyone who disagrees with you as your enemy. I don't think somebody who disagrees with me is my enemy.
We're talking
They
about
actually
this
might
one
be-
particular guy. Does it make
Jerome
sense
Powell,
to keep your
but
enemy
it's
in your
everyone.
company?
Well, it's
in
the
your
chief
business.
of your labor statistics. It seems like everyone
You're
who
not answering
disagrees
that
with Trump-
question.
Sorry, what was your question?
This guy is Trump's enemy.
Jerome Powell?
And knowing that he is his enemy, should he keep him in his administration?
He's not the enemy, because he's been, you know, put in that position through a previous appointment, through at some point a democratically elected official. If you are saying that, I mean, it's kind of like, this is a very weird semantic argument, because you can say, like, well, yes, you can replace, you technically, like, the president should possibly have authority to replace this position. However, allowing it to be replaced is politically damaging because it is seen as partisan and, like, can yield economic instability, because you will have people fucking with federal interest rates in ways that are beneficial in the short term, not in the long term, whatever. Blah, blah,
Why is
blah,
Jerome
blah.
Powell his enemy?
Would you call him friend?
I want to start gaming. I don't want to talk about economics.
At least ally. Yeah, I think Jerome Powell loves America and wants to see it thrive. I think that his economic leadership, I mean, he's part of the major reason that we pulled out of COVID economically so strong. Jerome Powell believes in America. He's deeply
Amazing.
American. I mean, Trump picked him.
That's
right?
amazing. So
Do
let
you
me
think that Trump
ask.
picked wrong? Like Trump was a fool when he picked Jerome Powell?
Let me ask. Do you agree with Trump that he shut the borders down and now the illegals can't come in and he's shipping all the illegals back to wherever they came from? You agree with that?
Is there any way are you going to answer my questions, or is this only one way? If it is only one way, that's okay. I just want to know.
Do you agree with Trump that he shut down the
He
borders
says, yeah.
and shipping the illegals back?
I think there was an immigration crisis, and I think the left laid in a big fat hammock and neglecting it. So immigration reform was necessary. I definitely don't agree with abandoning due process.
I
Do
hate
you
when
agree
Canadians
with
talk about
the Great
American
White Hope that-
politics. I hate when Canadians and British people talk about American politics and they have the fucking Cliff Notes response to this shit.
He closed the borders down. and he's shipping illegals back to wherever they came from. He's out there collecting them and shipping them back. Do you agree with that?
The way that he's doing it, by violating due process, no. But I agree with
illegals don't
illegals
have
being-
due process in America. How can you be a criminal in this country and have due process? That doesn't even make sense.
Do you think that if
Due
I'm
process is for
You can't determine that somebody's a fucking criminal without due process, you fucking retard.
citizens of the country.
What do you mean? How do you determine that somebody's a fucking criminal? Okay, she's probably gonna.
No, if I get murdered in America, even if I'm a non-American citizen, I still get due process, right? My family still can call the police. They'll still investigate who murdered me, even if my murderer was an American citizen, right? This is obviously true.
Are you happy with the Great White Hope that he's shut the borders down
I don't know if she's abundance filled, to be honest.
and sending
I think she
illegals
is.
back to their country?
She's at least like, she's not able to articulate what is unproductive about abundance liberalism.
I'm okay with the borders being shut down. I disagree with removing due process.
And why?
I think due process is a miracle of the American project. I think it was a rarity. It's what America led on in many ways, America and the Western development. It's incredible. Being
When did an
assumed-
illegal alien that entered into our country illegally, breaking the law,
This guy hates our country, by the way. I just want to point that out, that this guy doesn't understand and hates our country.
get due process?
because that's
Erudite doesn't understand our country, but she doesn't hate it.
how the law works. And I believe
That
in
doesn't
the
work that
American
way
law.
for criminals, illegals.
Yes, it does.
No, it
Criminals
doesn't.
in America also get due process, right?
No.
You get assumed.
He could
Yes, they do, because you can't fucking determine somebody a goddamn criminal according to our criminal justice system without fucking due process. What do you mean? Otherwise, it's just arbitrarily, like, the state designation. Is that what you want? You just want a fucking state designation of criminal? You want somebody to just, like...
not
put them
guilty
on a
until
plane
proven
and ship
otherwise.
them back. He can pick them up at Costco today, put them on a plane today, and ship them right back where they came from, and he would be right.
And that could be your neighbor. That could be somebody that has no immigration case at all, and without due process, you would not be able to figure that out. So even if you are of the opinion that they should have an expedited removal of the country simply for being in violation of immigration law, or by like having paperwork that's been misfiled or something like that, or even they just have a temporary protective status that has recently been revoked, if you think that that is justification for somebody being removed from the country, you should still want them to have due process, because without that, it is literally just them kidnapping people and fucking sending them somewhere. Like, I don't know, like, it's crazy that people don't get this. I mean, it's not crazy that this guy doesn't get it, because he's fucking, like, he's a walking corpse, but...
I think
It's
that's a
insane the amount of people that espouse that idea that, well, why do they need due process if they're fucking criminals? It's like, how do you fucking know that they're a criminal without due process? How do you distinguish between the person that is legally in this country that just happens to have traits that make ICE think that they should be possibly investigated for their immigration status, right? And if you don't actually have accountability for that, like for that being seen before a judge and for that person to have their ability to present their case, then you do not know.
violation of the American Constitution. I
It's
think
not a
that's bad thing to do.
violation for illegal alien. What the?
Yeah, it is also unfortunate there was any capitulation on the Democrats' part around the immigration issue. Yeah, and I hate the media strategy of there's no problem. It's like, no, there is an immigration problem. However, we do need funding, we need judges, and this is going to mean that there will be an influx of people in certain communities that are immigrants awaiting their process. This will be like, this is an economic consideration. This does need to be done with some consideration, but it's not fucking rocket science.
As a Canadian, if I get
See, this
if
is
somebody-
why
And you can also show, like, when processes have been expedited, like under the Biden administration, people showed up to court dates more often. People were more up to date with their paperwork. More people also filed for asylum because it was expedited. But there were like I hate the idea as well, because we had these fucking maintain lists of people, and it's not going to be the people that are hiding the best that are getting deported first. It's going to be the people that are trying to sort out their immigration situation with USCIS that were going to be the first people targeted. And that has been happening.
women shouldn't be voting, they're too emotional.
what's emotional about this?
You're not making logical decisions.
Never tell an American as a Canadian if you want them to take you seriously. Yeah, exactly.
How is that not logical?
You think
What's
due
lo-
process
what's bad
for
about due
illegals-
process?
You think due process for criminals in our country that came here illegally
Yes,
deserve,
criminals get due
under the
process.
Constitution,
Yes.
they deserve due process.
So if I, as a Canadian national, am murdered in America, do I get due process for justice for my murder?
That's not the subject that I'm asking about. I'm asking about illegal
Well,
aliens that
I'm
come.
asking about
Are you
foreign-
here illegally?
Yeah. Yeah,
You-
foreign, even illegal foreign.
And once again, like I said, this is very easy to turn around on Jesse Lee Peterson. All you need to do is say, how do you determine, just ask him, how do you determine somebody is here illegally in this country? Ask him how he thinks that process plays out. He will have to say, well, they will check your paperwork, they will do something, whatever. Okay, well, what if paperwork is misfiled? What if there has been an error? What if they're like, what accountability does the government have for proving their case that you are an illegal citizen? In his world, they don't have any accountability for it, and the onus is entirely on you to not end up in that situation.
Are you here illegally?
Which is hard from experience. I've dealt with U.S. immigration, and even though I updated my address every single time that I moved, I even think I did the thing where I told them I was going to be out of fucking town, right, when I went on vacation, or when I went out of the country, right? That being said, they still sent me a letter where I had 5 days to respond, and had I not had my mother checking my mail while I was out of the country, I would have missed an appointment for my ex-husband's immigration date, and he would have been considered in violation of USCIS and subject for deportation, even though for 2 years I was up to date with everything, and it was a immigration through marriage, one of the easiest immigrations to do. And then don't even get me started about what happened after COVID. After COVID, basically so here's the problem as well that kind of inflates the immigration crisis that the Trump administration can now point to. During COVID, they put a pause on a lot of the in-person immigration interviews, and because that's something that the U.S. still does require as a proof, like to prove your bona fides that you it's legitimate marriage for whatever. And this is I'm just talking about like. I only have experience with people who were doing the H-1B and H-2B visa, I think is the engagement one. Anyways, so after COVID, they suspended that process, and a lot of people were just given letters saying you have, some of them were saying, obviously depending on what part of the process they were in, you have work verification for 2 years. We're not going to send you for immigration, whatever. Now, the problem with that is that after those appointments continued, because you had this gap of people checking the mail, because you had this gap of people worrying about immigration correspondence, obviously you had an uptick in people missing appointments when they started going back out, and you had people getting fucking deported for that shit. It was great. And they still have a backlog of cases as well, and they're not hiring any more judges, so yeah.
No, I'm not here illegally.
So why would you apply that to you?
Because you're saying that non-citizens...
By the way, the entire immigration process in this country is such a fucking scam. Like, I paid $600 for my lawyer to just sit behind me. Because I read about it. It's like, you should do it. You should just pay to have your lawyer there. They're most likely your lawyer's not going to fucking say anything. And yeah, he didn't say a goddamn word the entire fucking time. The only reason you have them there is that they're going to, the immigration officials are intentionally going to ask you things to trip you up, or they're going to question, the bona fides that you provided. And if you say you don't answer completely satisfactory, say you let me try to think of an example. He asks you a question about, or they ask you a question about how you guys met or something like that, and you didn't entirely remember, and say you didn't talk about this with your partner beforehand, and the official wants to flag that, they can start to question you about it. When they start to question you about it, they can use that information that you're giving them as well to make their judgment, and they can even use it against you. And if somebody just has a fucking bad day and they just want to fucking, just start grilling you, they will. And they will, try to find something to say, okay, well, I think this is illegitimate and we're going to deny you. It happens to a lot of fucking people over arbitrary shit. It causes people a lot of stress. And just having the lawyer there is them just to be there to intervene and say, hey, you don't have to answer any questions, because otherwise people don't know that they just don't have to answer those questions. It's so fucking complicated to know what you are, so what counts against you, and just the fact that you have the lawyer there grants you legitimacy when you are pushing back against the immigration officials, because otherwise, yeah, they can just use their arbitrary judgment. It's just, I don't know, it's so fucking crazy.
Don't get due process, or you're saying that criminals don't get due process, but both criminals and non-nationals get due process.
Non-nationals, immigrants, you feel like a second-class citizen with the way that the U.S. government treats you already. You do feel like you have to do everything right, and even then, you can just get fucked over. And it's very anxiety-inducing.
That's why women should not be running.
Well, I think I'm being more logical than you.
thousands of dollars and is only more expensive under this administration.
Right now, right?
How's
You're
that?
saying illegal and non-citizens. Illegal, so criminal action gets due process in America, and non-citizens get due process in America. So illegal non-citizens also, presumably, this is actually analytical philosophy, they also get due process.
So
Necessarily.
you
That's
say
the
that the
conclusion.
Constitution applies to people who break into our country illegally?
Typically, yeah. For certain, not all of the Constitution applies to them, but things like
Once again, this is like so easy. All she needs to say is, how the fuck do you determine that somebody's here illegally? Through due process.
due process does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Okay, see? Let me ask. I've said to, and I know a whole bunch of guys around the world who have married and they wanted a family. So a lot of them end up marrying women who are educated. And I suggest to them they should not marry an educated woman because she doesn't make for a good wife and a mother. And every time, it never fails. Every time they marry an educated woman, the marriage go to hell in a handbasket. Do you agree with me that a man should not marry an educated woman because she doesn't make for a good wife and mother?
Speeding it up, by the way.
I think educated marriages last longer and have healthier children on average.
No,
So
not at all. That's not true.
That's just what the data shows.
That's not true. Every man, that if he stayed with her, he become a beta man. She make him the woman, and she go out and bring home the bacon.
Well, I would say that that's a failing on both of those partners, right? As a woman, you shouldn't be demasculating your partner. And as a man, you also should not be allowing your wife to demasculate you. So if demasculation is happening, I think that that's
But a
bad.
woman that's been educated, she thinks she's equal to a man and that she's compete with him. She think that she would rather go to work and get her ego strokes rather than stay at home and raise her children. And if you married a beta man, he'll stay home and he become the wife and she become the husband.
I don't know what to tell you.
And what's wrong with that? Like, what's wrong with a man taking on what's typically seen as a more feminine role? Like, okay, I do think that there was a gap in like understanding, like in the generations. I feel like Gen X children. This is just a theory that I have, right? There were a lot of women making careeristic choices, not just entering the workforce for like economic reasons, but specifically planning their life trajectory based off being more careeristic. They like had children, you know, they picked partners that would accept this in their life and everything like that. And that, yeah, they would be the breadwinner. And I think that there are a lot of examples I have of families who have this structure, older and like a little bit like a little bit younger than I guess it would be what boomers having Gen X children, that kind of range, right? Now, what I think happened to some of these people from my, like, this is just my theory, right? What I think happened to some of these Gen X kids is that they had a mother that was independent and careeristic, which was great. And it worked out in terms of like, they did have a parent, like they didn't have they had a stay-at-home parent still, right? However, the actual purpose of the mothering role, I don't think is something that a lot of like people analyzed enough to understand like what the possible drawbacks of it are. Like, I think that a lot of men accepted the position as the homemaker without really accepting the position of mother, quote unquote, I guess is a best way to say it. Like, so what some people I think experienced was a parental dynamic where emotional communication was, you know, not really something that they had as much experience with as people who had like mothers who stayed home, not because of an inherent problem with the men, because men are capable of engaging in emotional communication, but just because societally they did not have the same skill sets like ingrained into them, and therefore they weren't able to pass that on to their children. Does that make sense? That was a long rant.
The
TLDR, yeah, I think there are a lot of emotionally retarded Gen X men walking around who have a resentment towards feminism and women, like female empowerment, because they viewed their mothers as absent and probably like didn't necessarily view their father figure as like a father figure either. Like, I don't know, there's some weird fucking psychosexual shit going on too. Like, it's very strange.
evidence shows when you look
This
at
is entirely a vibes-based analysis.
aggregate, just like polls of demographics, women that achieve higher levels of education have longer lasting marriages. And
No,
children
they don't.
Are typically, yeah, they do.
Women with
You can just
education
Google
divorce
this.
way quicker than non-women with no education. But let me ask
In
this
general,
because of time.
people impoverished.
Yeah, like I think when people point to the bad feminism, that's what they point to is like a removal of like feminine presence from the household without like an appropriate replacement in like the male caregiver.
Tend to often be a little bit more impulsive.
And like I said, it has nothing to do with biological factors more than I think it just has to do with societal conditioning, which is why I don't think it's as much of a problem anymore. I think a lot more men, when they choose the caregiver role, have a lot more, I guess, guidelines in like media and in culture and things like that. There's a lot more of a representation of that archetype to where maybe it's easier for them to kind of understand what challenges for them to take on in that space.
Their relationships fail at a significantly higher rate. They also have a much lower marriage rate. People who are less educated typically don't get married, are having children out of wedlock, and therefore can't even qualify in the marriage.
Or there are more people who are, stay-at-home dads who maybe had a stay-at-home dad themselves, so they have like that modeled for them as well.
Statistics, because they were never married in the first place. They just have like multiple children with different men. That's typically what we're seeing with like the lesser educated. And now, again,
there's also I know a ton of stay-at-home dads that are like fucking amazing people that are like, I don't know, like they're just like, it's just really cool seeing somebody get really excited about like child development and talk about it. And yeah, there's a couple channels I follow about that.
systems why all this is happening.
That's
But
so
educated
where are you
women,
making up all this stuff?
you can just Google it.
Oh, why are you making?
You could also attribute it to neoliberalism too, which is like the incentive to gain more money. Yeah, like definitely even older like boomers that I know that consider themselves liberal or leftist, they have that neoliberal kind of idea of if you succeed in capital, like you're a good person,
This up.
And if you don't, then it's because of you. It's your own failing.
Google it.
Google it. What the?
Yeah, just look it up. Yeah, go look at the stats.
So let me ask, because of time, what has Donald Trump done or doing that you think?
It's also why one of the older women in my life told me once too, when I was talking about because I'm a welder, so I was talking about people kind of boxing, like putting me in a box at work and how it doesn't feel great and it's stressful to try to overcome and like become better at my trade, knowing that there are certain things that people are going to naturally assume I'm worse at, or they're going to kind of they're going to categorize me in a way that prevents me from having certain opportunities when it comes to like learning and skill building. I was describing this to this older woman in my life who she's very successful. She runs her own business. And her answer to it, like I said, she's in this generation, she's like, well, men are stupid. Like, men don't know what they want. Men are dumb. Just flirt with them a little bit and like, they'll give you whatever you want. And I was like, I mean, I guess that works, but I don't know that I want to do that. I don't think that's a great thing to try to like incentivize, is that I like, because then what's going to happen is that, like I have to, maybe it's also that she worked in sales. Like, so it's like, I'm a welder. I have to work with these people. Like if I start getting preferential treatment because I'm flirting with people, I'm like it's not really I'm not gonna get paid that much more for it potentially. Like I'm not, maybe I could get like a management position, but then I'm gonna be managing a bunch of people that think that I got where I got because somebody finds me sexually attractive. That's not great as a woman either. So it's like, no, I don't think it works that way.
It's amazing.
I think his child tax credit was really good.
Lamp says, rather than just skating privilege, in a lot of cases, women took on double duty and almost as a requirement, not a choice. True as well. There are a lot more households that can only be sustained by two people's income. Therefore, even if you have women joining the workforce, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have the economic stability for stay-at-home dads to even like be a thing. And that does mean caregivers, that does mean grandparents, that does mean friends. And usually, the more that your children have different caregivers, changing caregivers, the worse their development is generally. So yeah.
Good. I loved the child tax.
And that goes for daycare people. That even goes for your friends, Another bit of advice to anybody that has kids out there, and if you are struggling to find care for your children, at the very least, try to have it be somebody who's familiar. Don't be the sort of person that just because you trust this person, you have a big family, you have a lot of people, and you just leave your kids with somebody different every week. I don't think it's great for them long term. When that's like their primary interaction, like their primary socialization with adults, that's their primary I guess, vector of learning, because like trust is a much bigger thing, I think, in children than a lot of people really consider. Like it's easy to ignore the emotions, I think, of small children when they're scared or when they're really impacted by something, and you can't just react strongly to everything, you know, when a kid looks like terrified about some shit. But I don't know, I do think that people do kind of just kind of expect kids to deal with it, and they don't really ever check back, I guess, when they're old enough to express their thoughts that like, hey, did that fuck you up?
Tax credit. I think in general, making it more affordable to have children, very good thing to do.
Are you going to have children?
Yeah.
Do you support abortion?
I support the legal access to abortion. It's probably the wrong thing to do on average. It's probably more noble to not, but I think the societal impacts of not allowing abortions is horrific.
So you do support abortion?
Legally.
I didn't ask if you support it legally, that means you support it.
Nope.
What's the difference?
My faith is not the same thing as my politics.
So your faith tell you can support killing a child in the womb legally, but if a woman decides to go in the alleyway and kill the child, you don't support that.
Well, I would say that when she does it legally, it's probably the worst choice, and it would be more good to keep it, but I would like her to have the legal access to make that choice.
So you support the woman killing the man's baby in the womb legally, right?
And her baby,
right?
to be fair.
It's not
The
her
man's
baby,
baby
it's
and
his
her
baby.
Well, it's both. She's carrying it. It's probably her genes.
I mean, this is about as good as you're going to get from a Christian, like, pro-choice argument. Like, we live in a society, we allow for certain exemptions. Disallowing for that possibility does create more harm, more things in society. Like, you know, women do still get abortions even if they're outlawed. Therefore, you can just say just allowing for it is like a harm reduction thing. You can say that you morally condemn it, but that ultimately the circumstances created by having a strict like ban on it, like it has the possibility to create more immoral situations, I guess, than people perceive. Once again, that's a societal thing. We have deemed that we do not consider fetuses in the womb as children with their own autonomy because, yeah, if they are separated from the mother, they cannot survive. So, yeah.
So you support the woman killing the baby legally, but not doing it in the alleyway or illegally?
I'm sorry. What are your illegal abortions?
You said you support the law as it's legal. You okay with her killing the baby in the womb?
Yes, I support women's access to abortion.
So you do support abortion then?
No, I think it's typically the worst choice, but overall, I think it's a choice that women should have access
You
to.
support it. Just say you support it. Just say, yes, I support women's right to abortion. You can even say, I also do support states' ability to have specific rules on when they determine it to be unethical or the killing of a child versus an abortion.
Reason. Did you know that 70% of divorces are being filed by women?
And because if you're a Christian and if your relationship is personal with God, you can say, I personally do not think I would ever get an abortion because I have a very strict idea of the value of life. But I do think that I live in a society where the majority of people want access to it because of their own personal belief on, you know, the benefits versus the drawbacks of disallowing.
Mm-hmm. Now we like stats, hey?
And so
We like to pick and choose when we like stats, don't we?
but
I have a lot of friends like this. You know who you are.
That's not good. Not good.
but so how more marriage and working better with educated women is 70% of them are filing for abortion. For divorce.
First of all, typically uneducated women are not getting married. They tend to common law for a long time and then separate, so they're not getting included in the stats.
We're talking about the ones that are getting married.
Right. Well, you're talking about educated versus uneducated. And I'm saying one of the issues in the uneducated category is they're getting married less often. They common law more
But
often.
we're talking about the ones that are getting married and divorcing.
Yep. And so educated, I think it's not just educated women. I think women overall initiate divorce
But this
more
status,
often than men.
this
Totally.
report says
Good to see you.
70% of divorces are being filed by women.
If you don't trust my stats, how am I supposed to trust yours?
Do you trust that?
I don't know. Where's your source from?
The sources?
Because you didn't trust mine. So it's going to be tough to, if you get to use stats and I take it for granted, but when I use stats, you just say,
I still need to think of a creature for lamp, by the way. I've been thinking. I thought of a chipmunk earlier. I feel like a chipmunk, but I don't know. I feel like a chipmunk is kind of like cute, you know, but it's also like it's a little stereotypical. I could probably do better.
that's made up. Now we're at an impasse.
But you
now
just
essentially
throwing out
you get to
stuff.
do something I don't.
Plus, I'm not good at, like, I don't know, the scale of drawing a chipmunk versus my little, like, worm and spore might be kind of hard.
You're just saying stuff that you don't even know what you're talking about.
You could just be saying, so you could have just typed up stuff on
What is
chat.
this?
Maybe a little field mouse. Maybe a little field mouse. Do you want to be a little field mouse, Lamp? Like one of the ones that you see like inside of like big flowers and stuff.
Daniel.
It could have just made something up. I'm willing to grant it. The issue is I'm looking for you to grant me stats in return, right?
Okay, I'll let you have
Rats.
some.
Okay.
Do you believe racism exists?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
And what's your proof?
I think, for example, black men tend to go to jail for longer for the same crimes that white men will get reduced sentences for, is a good example.
And why is that?
I would say prejudice. It's very odd to say if you are black. Again, we can hold it if you want stats, since you said you'll grant me stats.
Yeah.
When we look at actually forensic recidivism data, even when you hold, for example, number of priors between white men and black men the same, black men on average still get sentenced to a significantly longer time. In the same way that if you
A mole rat would be good too.
hold the men
Maybe a mole generally.
statistics consistent with
Moles-
priors to a
Moles are actually like, the moles that we have around here are super fucking cute, and they have the softest fur. I think they're a vector for disease, so don't pet moles without washing your hands.
woman's, even if a woman has 14, reference to the Ukrainian, 14 priors and the man has 14 priors, she'll get a much lesser sentence typically. I just think that there's prejudice in the way that we stereotype people.
So do you think that if the black man that committed the crime was able pay a lawyer to represent him, maybe he wouldn't go to jail as much as he does by getting a free lawyer from the courts? Whereas white men
Possibly.
tend to pay for their lawyers, so they're going to get the best lawyer. When they have to go to court, ask for a free lawyer, that lawyer is, busy with so many cases, he doesn't really have time to try to figure it out. If black men were able to pay for their own lawyers in the way that white men are able to do you think it would be even play then?
I suspect no. I'm pretty sure that the data's already looked into this, that even when you
This is an interesting point from him. So he's saying that he does not think that the discrepancy in policing and like everything like that, like obviously there are factors in conviction rates that are going to be determined more by access to a lawyer, and there are systemic, reasons why black people typically won't have that same access as a group, but not as individuals. But then there also is still the individual experience of being profiled regardless of your economic background. So it's like it's two different things that they're describing, which I would actually agree with Jesse Lee Peterson on the idea that conviction rates probably have more to do with legal representation, but actually getting arrested and having negative interactions with the police is definitely more a problem of racial profiling. And because of that, you can also see more, because you can see more people arrested, you also will necessarily see more people getting convicted, and also because of the way that we structure policing, there will be more policing in high poverty areas. Yeah.
you look at economic status, so essentially people's economic access to better lawyers, even then, the black
He caught one once, it was very cute. Yeah, no touchy. Mole rats are, they're one of those ugly cute things.
men will get sentenced longer
That's not
specifically. So
true.
they often will get off at about the same rate because they have a similar quality lawyer, but the judge gets to decide the length, right? And oftentimes judges will just opt for longer, more steeper sentences for black men than for white men.
Not true. When black men pay for their own lawyers, that lawyer's on their case in the same way a white man, when he pays for his lawyer, they're going to get the same thing most of the time.
I'm not sure if that's true.
The little star nose moles are so cute.
No, it is true.
I don't know if I believe you.
But do you have any
making that
proof
up.
that racism exists?
I just gave you one. Yeah.
No, that's not proof.
Well, we just talked about how it is, and I'm not granting you making up facts either, right? So we're at an impasse.
Amazing. Do you have any other proof that racism exists?
Yeah, sure. I think an important question to you, for example, why is it the case that black men typically can't afford a more expensive lawyer when a white man can?
Because they believe the lie that they can't make it because they're black. And they think white people are superior to them, so they'll beg and blame it and try to get something free.
Look at this little dork. Look at this little goober. Look at him chilling. Look at this little eldritch monstrosity. Oh my god. I do love them. I really love moles. I love their little claws too. They're just like, they really do look like if I was trying to create a creature that exists in the Upside Down, but I want it to be like the little cute 1 HP ad, that's running around. It would look exactly like this. I love it so much. I love them. Anyways, back to it.
Rather than earning their own way.
Do you think that black people just try less hard?
What?
Do you think black people just try less hard than white people to make money?
No, they need to get out and just do it. They don't need to try any harder or less, but just do it.
So black people just don't go to jobs or try to make money.
Some do, most don't. Because they've heard that they can get it free. All they have to do is try racism and they can get it free. Do you love white people?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why. Every time he hits her with one of these questions, I just fucking love her reaction where she's just like, yeah. I don't know, like I would be cracking the fuck up if I was her. I would not be able to hold a straight face. Racism. Oh, okay, here's your check. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't hear you.
Yes, I like white people.
They don't want you to know that big racism is paying all of the leftists.
You love white people?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You are Christian, right?
Yeah.
God said that our battle is not physical, it's spiritual. That we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and wickedness.
That is true. I have this problem with Germans and Canadians too. I guess it helps if that I know Erudite is autistic, but like I tend to peg them as autistic when really they're just Canadian or German. It's just they can't help it.
In high places, evil. Why do you call it racism rather than calling it good or evil? Why do you call it what the world call it rather than calling it what God's called it?
Mostly for specificity. I think if we called just everything that's bad evil and everything that's good good, and those were the only words we had, we'd never know what we're talking about.
Why is that?
So then I just have to be like, well, black people have bad things happen to them. And you'd be like, what kind of bad things? And I'd be like, the baddest of like bad things, right? Just for specificity. I think racism is immoral, obviously, but I call it racism for specificity.
Well, why don't you call it what God called it rather than calling it something else? Are you saying that God didn't know what he was doing when he called it good versus evil?
No, these are not separate things, right? Something can be good and evil and also something else, right?
No.
Murder.
No, it's either good or evil, nothing else.
Do you think murder is good or evil?
You're not answering
Wait, so is he saying
the question. Why?
He's saying racism doesn't exist, there's only good and evil, and so people who have what is he saying? People who have a natural disaffinity towards certain races
How do you call it
are
something
just identifying evil?
other than what God calls it?
I'm answering your question with a question back to kind of elucidate my point. Because I did answer it. I just don't think maybe you're understanding me.
I said that God does not call it racism. He called it good versus evil. And as a daughter of God, why don't you call it what your father called it? Why do you call it what the children of Satan calls it?
For the same reason that I call murder instead of just evil, for specificity.
Really?
Yeah. So we know what we're talking about.
So
right?
is murder done
he's literally
due
just
to
saying
racism or evil?
why not just call it evil?
Sometimes evil, and then sometimes it's...
I hate this. I hate this like fucking definition flattening bullshit that some people do. Like, you're describing a problem, and you're describing it in a systemic sense. And the person will just be like, I just think that's just people being an asshole. And it's like, no, that's just like, that's how you describe the fucking end result of the thing that I'm explaining. Like, yeah, somebody is an asshole. I'm trying to theorize, why are they an asshole? What compels them to be an asshole? Why do they not have social correction against being an asshole? How do we stop them from being an asshole? And you're just like, yeah, Otzi would love this. I was actually kind of hoping she would tune in, because I'm pretty sure. I mean, to be honest, Lee Peterson does kind of fucking cook Erudite in a lot of this shit. She doesn't have, like, she had 2 decent rebuttals, and then he just kind of moved on. She did a good thing where she was like, are you gonna let me ask questions or just you? And he just kept asking questions. Like, her face was like, oh, okay. All right. Like, I don't know. She's done okay here, but like ultimately, because she doesn't have a I really don't think she has a legitimate connection with her faith. I think it's more of like she's a cultural Christian. So she has these cultural beliefs of Christianity, and she does have some biblical knowledge, like some Bible, study knowledge, I guess. But ultimately, she's not able to engage in the philosophical debate in the Christian context. Like, she's engaging in it in like her worldview, and he's trying to tie it back to faith.
It's for racism, sometimes it's for greed, and sometimes it's for vengeance. There's all sorts of evils that contribute to murder.
But it's always evil that's influencing it, right?
Sure, yeah, I agree that racism's evil, though. I've already said that.
But how can it be evil when it doesn't exist?
Also, why is bro dressed up like a fucking pack of Marlboro cigarettes?
It's just a word made up by evil people.
I guess you and I disagree about whether it exists or not. So
But
if
it
you don't
doesn't.
think it exists, then it doesn't matter. And if I think it exists, I would label it evil.
Do you have white privilege?
I'm sure people would say that I do, yeah.
What do you say?
Probably in some areas. There's definitely some things where if I show up next to my husband, my husband's a quarter Nigerian, it smooths
You
things
married to a
out.
black man?
I am, yeah.
You married? Well, no wonder.
That's how you know I'm so cool, right? I can hang.
Well, that
Sorry?
explains it all.
Sorry?
What does it explain? He's a quarter Nigerian. It's just it's a weird thing. Like, do you have white privilege? Yeah, I mean, I have white privilege because I have the privilege to, like I said, what I would say to this, if I was asked this question, I would say, I don't just have white privilege, I have unassuming white woman privilege. I have autistic, lost child energy privilege that, like, I literally used to fucking bike around my city with a sword on my back, right? For self-defense before I could get a concealed carry. And I got stopped by the cops, like, twice, right? but like one time they were just like, oh, what's that? And I was like, oh, it's a sword. And I actually cited the fucking the statute that lets me carry it concealed, and I was like, yeah, I understand that I have to keep it concealed. It's not brandishing, it's just for self-defense. And that was, whatever, a calm conversation. And it was just like the cop seemed more amused than anything. And I do remember reflecting on that first experience, right, where I was like, I feel like if I was a different kind of person, like if my reaction wasn't like bubbly, because the cops, because I don't have negative experiences with police typically, right? So when I encounter a cop, well, I do now. I now have negative experiences with police, so I treat them differently now. But like back then, I feel like it was just a casual, polite kind of conversation. But I recognize that just having the anxiety of knowing that somebody might see you as a criminal element, right? That they're specifically investigating you because they think you're up to no good. Like the cop approached me and definitely had the demeanor of, this is a weird thing. Why do you have a shield backpack and a sword on your back? So just that alone, yeah, I have to acknowledge that I definitely have white privilege, even though I can't anticipate that cop would have racially profiled me had I been like a black man. You do just kind of know. You do just kind of know that people are going to treat you a certain way, and because of that, you go through life with a certain level of comfort, right? And even to the point where if I had said that as a different kind of person, people might have discouraged me from carrying a sword on my back because they think, well, you don't want to look like somebody who's up to no good, right? But I don't have to worry about that because I look like I'm a fucking retard. Like nobody's gonna think that I'm up to no good. So yeah, I definitely have white privilege. And the second time that I had interaction with police over my sword, it was that they were looking for a suspect, and like I think that they saw like I had the same color shirt and then I had a sword on my back. So they literally the cop, I was riding my bike and the cop like pulls up next to me and they're like, hey, and they like roll down their window and I like look over, take off my headphone, like, hey, what? And he just like looks me up and down. He's like, no, I'm sorry, you're not the suspect. And it's like, you just know. You just look at me. You just like, it takes one look to be like, oh, never mind. No, I don't know. So like, I don't know. Yeah, you have to acknowledge that you have white privilege, I believe, in America, especially as a white woman. Like you might have traits as a man that make you seem more intimidating to police, that you're going to, like, for example, if you have tattoos, certain parts of America, if you look like you're from a biker gang, you're definitely going to get harsher interactions with police. Yeah.
That makes sense now why you think the way you think.
Does it?
Yeah.
Autistic white woman privilege.
But
So am I being submissive to the wrong type of man? Is that what
You just have the vibe that it's like you have a fucking quest marker over your head. Everybody loves you.
you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I didn't know you were married to a black man, but it makes sense now that you would think that way.
He's conservative.
No, it makes sense that you would think that way.
But he's conservative.
But it makes sense that I'm talking about you. I didn't say him. I don't know anything about him, so I haven't spoken to him, so I don't know him.
But if I'm submissive to my husband and I like take a lot of like leadership and opinion from him and he's conservative, why would it, I guess, what does it mean when you say it makes sense the way I think, right?
Because you're married to a black man.
What does that mean?
That's why you think the way you think and you believe racism is and all that mess. But that's fine. I'm
That's probably
okay
not
with
why,
it.
to be
But it
fair.
makes sense
He probably
now.
disagrees on the extent to which I would say it exists, right?
Oh, okay.
He's conservative. He's conservative. Thank you.
So listen, I got to put you on the hot seat. I need you to answer these questions as quickly as possible.
See, she's a follower of Satan. She doesn't follow her husband.
Oh, let me ask, do you have anger?
I think I already said, we talked about this. Yes.
You do have anger?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
We all have anger.
What would happen if you dropped your anger and never got angry again about anything?
I would be better in most ways and probably ungodly in some ways.
Oh, you would be ungodly in some way without anger?
Well, we talked about this, right? Like Jesus himself had righteous
Oh,
anger.
yeah, you said that. You're right. So listen, I got to put you on the hot seat.
Okay.
I need you to answer these as quickly as possible.
The hot seat.
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
Giving people things that you don't want to give them, they don't want to receive, and accepting it anyways.
Is America the best country on this side of heaven?
So, love is when the cat boy when you allow the cat boy to violate you, that's true love.
Yes.
Do we need more white babies?
Yeah, sure.
What is a man?
a XY chromosome having hair, breast lacking, bearded human being who probably sits with his legs spread and likes prototypically sports,
An adult male of the human species.
but not always.
That's all you need to fucking say. An adult male of the human species. An adult female of the human species. And then they can ask you, what do you mean by that? And you can express that.
You're a man.
And you can also, correctly within that definition, express that trans people exist as well. They are a person who has been born of the opposite gender expression that they are currently living under. They have the sex that is male and female, but they are considered a trans man or a trans woman because they have transitioned, changed parts of their biology or presentation to appear more like the biological sex of male and the traits that we associate with that. However, you can also say that it is a self-ID and personal thing within those people as well. And that's all very consistent because when you describe it that way, it's very clear that you're delineating sex and gender, and you are connecting sex and gender as where these traits are typically expressed. However, it is the incongruence and the subversion of them that we are describing when we talk about trans people. And we still consider them men and women, and they are still men and women societally, because guess what? Most of the fucking time, you can't goddamn tell, because we do just rate people based off those fucking gender identifiers. And we even misidentify cis people. I am a cis person who is frequently misidentified as male, because people just look at me and assume a different thing.
Did you take the jab?
Yeah, I was a first responder. I worked in addiction, so.
True or false? When she's crying,
like, you can, I mean, some people might, like, I have prefaced this, I have very strange opinions about transness because of my own experience, and, like, I like hearing about other people's experience with transness because my major thing is just that every person is an individual, every person experiences their gender dysphoria on an individual basis, and yeah, like, you can't really, like, nobody should be able to speak for fucking trans people, especially the sisters. Like, please do not use your fucking experiences as universal. I hate that shit. What was I saying? Man, I can rant about certain subjects for fucking hours. But yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't seem that complicated to, like, I don't know, the whole right wing, well, how do you define a woman? It's like, okay, well, obviously we're going to define a woman differently, right? We, like, that's the point, is that we have different definitions of a woman. You want it to be strictly adhered to somebody's biological gender, or like their biological sex, or their chromosomal makeup, or something like that. Or sometimes you have an arbitrary, like, because you will describe things as more or less womanly, even within the context of a cis person, right? You will describe a woman as more or less womanly. And you're not saying that she's more or less of a female, you're saying she has more or less of the signifiers that you identify with a woman. So if you can understand that, you can understand, like, the spectrum of gender. I don't know, I just feel like it's just such a stupid fucking debate.
she's lying. True or false?
False.
I'm sorry?
False.
And you also understand, if you engage in that practice, like in that thought experiment, you also understand that it is subjective, that some people are going to have different inclusions of womanhood, and they're going to have reasons for including those I guess, expressions of womanhood, right? So you might have a very rigid understanding of what a woman is. You might consider somebody unwomanly if they wear pants. You might consider somebody unwomanly if they spread their legs when they sit. You might consider somebody unwomanly if they drink beer and talk loudly. But other people are going to, like, have, like, I guess, what's the word? Representations of womanhood in their own life, where they've internalized those traits as, like, actually either not incongruent with womanhood, or even maybe sometimes directly tied to them. So it's like, yeah, it's a unique experience. Gender is a unique experience. And a mental illness. The compulsion to perform gender is a mental illness that we all experience.
Do you keep hot sauce in your purse?
In my purse?
Yeah.
No.
Which would you rather have as president? Justin Trudeau or Donald Trump?
Ooh, you don't like me, do you?
I love you. I love you.
I don't know.
No,
Neither. I don't like either.
So, which would you prefer if you had to make a choice?
Oh, they're both so corrupt. gun to my head, probably Trudeau.
Amazing.
Amazing.
You want to
But again,
repeat that?
That's really speaks to how much Canadians fucking hate Trudeau that she had to think about that. That's crazy that she had to think about that. Holy fuck. I feel like when Canadians talk about like Trudeau and Trudeau's party, it gives the same vibes to me as when people from the UK talk about, God, what is it? Is it Labour? Is Labour the left-wing party? I forget now. Like there's no dialectic in the American like media space for discussing like the problems with these parties or what those parties represent in Canada and the UK. Like I feel like they just know that they're unhappy with their government. They know that there's problems. They know that they have fucking neoliberalism issues, right? But they don't have Trump, at least.
that's gun to my head, okay? I'm not opting for either.
Right on.
I might take the bullet. I might take a bullet.
Is it ever okay to call a woman fat?
Yeah, it depends on like how you're doing it.
Yeah, just liberal. They're just liberals. That's it, yeah.
But yeah,
Which is worse, abortion or slavery?
slavery.
Is the earth flat or round?
It's round.
Did you have fun?
I did. Thank you so much for having me.
It was an honor to have you. I enjoyed talking to you, really.
Thank you. Good. I enjoyed talking to you.
Tell the people how they can get your YouTube channel.
I feel like Jesse Lee Peterson would actually just be like, he would be a fun person to just have a conversation with. He doesn't like, he just obviously like he says horrible fucking shit, but he seems very personable. Like I feel like I could have like some crazy ass conversations with this guy and have a good time.
Whatever you want to put out there.
Sure. I'm Twitter, TikTok, and
Definitely giving me Grackle vibes.
Instagram, everywhere. NotSoErudite. That's spelled Erudite. You can check me out. I've got nuanced liberal takes with a little bit of radicalism wherever you need it.
Amazing. Well, thanks for coming on. And thank you all for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate it. Don't forget to like, follow, ring the bell, support us by becoming members of InFartherstate.tv right there on the YouTube channel or locals.com, JesseLeePeterson.locals.com. And check out my coffee. I have the best coffee on this side of heaven. Good. So check it out on JesseLeePeterson.shop. Ring the bell, do all that stuff. If you'd like to have...
Where'd it go?
Listen to your black ass talk all day about how much you can't stand black folks. Can't stand black folks.
Ain't two of them in the history of the world that's worth a scrub for it.
Oh, how much you love white folks.
Best thing the good Lord ever did for the planet Earth.
Ruckus, you black as the ace of spades, man.
I don't see the need for you to go and insult the man after a game of checkers. We've been reminiscing all day, looking in each other's eyes, acting like we like each other. Now you gotta go ahead and remind me of my ailment.
Ailment?
That's right. You heard of vitiligo? Shoot, well, I got re-vitiligo. Every year my skin just seems to get blacker and darker and blacker and then more darker. It's the opposite of what Michael Jackson got. Lucky bastard.
Ruckus, how could you possibly love white people so much?
It's easy. Have you ever looked at them? White man just a joy to be around. They smell like lemon juice and pledge furniture cleaner. And look at them. They gave us discipline, jobs, put structure in our lives, took us out the jungle. And what we do to show our appreciation? We march up and down the street. We vote. Carry on. Ingrates.
Well, how about this? Game.
But yeah, just fucking... He is Uncle Ruckus. 100% he is just fucking Uncle Ruckus. Like, he's just a self-hating... I don't know if he's really self-hating or if it's just like a way to do edgy, like, subversive humor. But yeah, definitely that brand of comedy. I think it's interesting. I do think it's interesting to watch, like, kind of liberals squirm in the face of people of color who do either sincere or insincere, like, self-diminishing humor. It is kind of like a good test for, I guess, how much you've actually confronted your own white privilege. Like, that sounds so lived out for me to say, but I feel like, yeah, you can be a quote unquote ally for Black people, but don't actually interact meaningfully with any Black people. And it does definitely show when you get like questioned about racial topics because you just feel so fucking like it's like you have it's kind of like being autistic, and instead of just having an intuitive response to things, you have to go through a framework in your head of like, you know, of the right things to say, when the right things to say are just kind of pretty obvious when you don't live a really like in a really homogenized community. I don't know, maybe that's just my experience, but that's how what I feel happens a lot. Anyways, I do think we're gonna get into 999. I'm gonna go grab some water just because that ran a little longer than I didn't expect to make 2 hours of content out of a 1 hour video, but I guess I did rant a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna get 999 set up. I'm gonna go grab some water really quick. I'm not gonna put the AFK thing up. But yeah, we're going back to Pillow Game, the horrible click adventure. It's actually really cool. I do like the story of it a lot, and the puzzles are fun. However, I have had hangups to where it's been like one single thing that I've needed to click in the room, and even though I clicked that fucking pillow last night, apparently I didn't click it hard enough, or I didn't click it in the right spot. Like, I don't know, maybe there's a control where I can just show everything that's interactable in the room. You're just chilling and melting stuff. What are you melting, lamp? Anyways, let's get this set up. I grab water too. Yeah, thanks for chilling so far. I still haven't found like a proper content rotation, so here's what I've been doing offline. I've been doing two things primarily offline. Oh, you're doing glasswork, right. Just stuff, yeah, it just sounds funner, more funner, yeah. But yeah, offline, I have been trying to gear myself up to a more regular streaming schedule. I do want to do content, like news content during the day. I guess it's just really I just have to make dockets for that sort of stuff and just go through it. I just haven't found here's a big problem, right? I haven't really engaged with social media like Reddit and Twitter to get like my source, like to be my news source for the longest time. I used like a network of Discord servers that I was in. I left a lot of those Discord servers a while back, and now like I don't really want to just start going back and re-engaging with them. And that like it was really the like I feel like a lot of content creators do this where you have your community that delivers you content, and the problem I have is that I could go and do deep dives on some of the topics in my topic suggestions. And there are good general videos for like if I was playing Minecraft, just throwing something on, right? But some of these, like I have a lot of videos that are kind of like informational that are really good for playing something and just having something play. But if it's a topic I'm not necessarily invested in already, or I don't have a lot of background on it, I do fear sometimes with that I lack some stuff to say. So why I've been trying to just re-engage with Reddit and Twitter naturally is because just engaging with the platforms does kind of give me a day-to-day, like there's continuity, I guess, in what's discussed, what people are discussing there. Yeah, that I've just been trying to get. Because I'm not good at research yet. Anyways. We're gonna get so that we're gonna be playing Nonary Games 999. Let me change the Twitch. Stream manager. And this game does have mature themes, so if you do not like blood and death and whatnot, this is not the stream for you anymore, because this is definitely a, what do you want to call it? Yeah. Alright, so I got that going, and then I gotta get because the annoying thing about this game is that it does not work with just window capture. It's one of those games that makes you want to do display capture, which is annoying. But we're here. Yay, you can see my little wormy. so good at this. What kind of glass stuff are you making, Lamp? Oh, I still have an ego combat bar up. Where did you come from? Go away. All right. I hate that it like resizes the window too. Even though it's a full screen window, it resizes the window when I get into it. Oh my god, you're so annoying. Here? And then I think it works. Alright. This is so scuffed. We're getting there. Alright. Now we've got it. Thank you. That's still cut off. What is it not wanna... I hate my life. Content warning cushions. Close enough! It's kind of in the middle of the screen. Alright, let me get my controller. Then I'm gonna go grab some water. I'm still bummed out that my fucking Stream Deck didn't work for some reason. When I had it, like, it's only when I'm streaming that it doesn't want to use the hotkeys, and I need to figure out why. Right. The game just crashed. Okay. I'll get that all set up. Sweet. So we left off in the casino. I did realize that these things, like, there is a timing to them that you can definitely get consistently, but it's also driving me fucking insane trying to get it. I'm gonna look at something else. I don't know if I get, like, okay, so... Ah! See? See? I'm good at this. I'm good at this. I don't know if this is, I don't know if I need to match them up with the symbols. Yeah, I've seen the symbol somewhere. On somewhere other than the reels. Well, yeah, obviously. I don't know if I need to focus on the reels, so I need to focus on just the buttons. Focusing on the buttons of the machine. Oh yeah, I know that, like, maybe I need to match them up? I don't know. What we've learned is don't focus so much on something that seems hard, because it's probably the stupidest fucking thing. Okay. Exit is locked. So we have Ace, I think it would be Ace 8 would be, wait, is Ace 1 or 0? Which would mean that it would need to be a 9, right? Check out that stained glass. How beautiful. What? Huh? Stained glass is colored pieces of glass placed together in a frame. As I've said many times before, I need only touch it to know. I can at least discern the basic structure. Okay, pretentious. Interesting. You're good, lamp. Enjoy. There it is. So we're looking. Turn it on. So clover, diamond, heart. Okay. Oh. Clover, diamond, heart. Like I said, it's not something that's skill-based. It's something that's just look around and listen to the characters that say, "Hey, dumbass, this is how you solve the fucking puzzle." Impressive, Junpei. It would appear to be unlocked now. There's something akin to a drawer on the bottom part of this machine. Yes? Pickup drawer for dividend. Probably the lock of the drawer. Please open if you would. Cool, and I got... What is it? Is there something in there? Yeah, playing card and this, a key with the Venus symbol on it. Excellent, Junpei. Now I'll be able to open the gate. Now I just need to figure out how to get out of this room. Correct. Come on, Junpei, hurry up. And he's off. There was a playing card and a Venus key. Better put the key in my pocket for later. As for the card... 2 of spades. We got 2, 3, 7, 8, 5, and 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. So, I wonder if there's a 6. And, so the 8 is there. So yeah, we're missing the 6 only. There's an 8 there too. Okay, so 8 is supposed to be the closest to 9. There's an 8 in that last case. Alright, so that's your opponent's number. So I have to, yeah. What 3 cards do we need to get that number? 3 cards. There are a couple of indentions with white lines around them, right? Those mean we gotta put down 3 cards, so place 3 cards here and defeat the opponent's 8. Alright. There, put it in the right spot, something ought to happen. Alright, let's give this a try. So, obviously, 5 plus... Okay, so 4 plus 3 plus... So, 7, 8, 9. So, 4 plus 3 plus 2 would be 9, which would beat their... Star. 8 of spades. Okay, I can't use those cards anymore. Nothing in the frame anymore. Got the 8 card, don't need to hang around here anymore. Okay. And then... So I'm guessing ace and 8? Okay. 3 slots receive the cards. There's 9 right below. I'm probably just gotta make a 9 with the 3. Just like the back of the table. Right, let's give it a shot. Okay. So yeah, 7 plus 6. So 13, 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. Yeah. So just the cards that I have. Let's go. That's cool. I still dislike that I had one thing that I really had to figure out there, which is just, okay, what are the...
This way.
Literally fucking 2, 3, 4 are the cards that I put, and the rest of the cards that I have are just the rest of the puzzle, and it's easy, because I just have to make 9. I want harder math puzzles.
The keyhole with the Venus symbol. The Venus key should work. It sounds like it did. All right, let's get this.
No problem. Let me help with this one.
It sounds as though you have opened it. We should be able to reach C deck now, I imagine.
Snake, are you gonna be all right? I mean, the stairs.
Please, do not do yourself the embarrassment of underestimating me. I would be unlikely to trip even if I were running backwards.
Good to hear. Let's move.
Everything looks okay here.
We should check the next deck down, just in case.
Just what I thought. D-deck is completely underwater.
Just like the bottom of the central staircase.
I'm just glad the water level hasn't changed much.
Back to the C deck then.
Now, how about we check out what's here?
There are 2 elevators over there, which means it's probably the same upstairs.
There's a card reader between them. And another weird mark.
Hey, check it out. It's the symbol for Lotus.
What?
See? It's got the woman symbol, and then it's got the devil horns, right?
Yeah, I see it. No 2 ways about it.
Thank you for
That was a
describing
pretty
it to
good
the
one,
blind
kid.
person, at least.
Oh, would you watch it, man? Whew, that hurts. You're gonna break my neck.
What are you talking about? The human body ain't that weak. Maybe this'll toughen you up, huh?
If we were looking for a devil, we've got one right here.
This is a Mercury symbol. The marks you mistook for horns are a stylized version of the wings and staff of Hermes.
Wings and a staff. So then, she beats you with the staff until you die and go to heaven. Sounds like Lotus, all right. 7! Oh, that's too much! Oh, my head! Oh, I think I'm gonna puke.
Unless we can activate this device, I doubt the elevator will function.
In other words, we gotta find a key card with a Mercury symbol on it.
So I would assume.
Let's forget the elevators for right now. How about that hallway to the left?
Whoa, there's a bunch of doors.
Ah, shit. We're not gonna have enough time to check all these, are we?
Maybe we can come back here later. We should check out the other side. Let's head back.
Think
To the
about how
right
many
this
fucking
time.
pillows could be behind those doors.
There are doors here too. Well, I guess it's just 4 this time.
Let's open them up, starting with the closest one there.
Okay, I'm on it.
Thank you,
Huh,
sir.
it isn't locked. What?
Hey, what is this place? It's so huge and empty.
Oh, there are beds everywhere.
Is this a hospital? The harsh scent in the air is reminiscent of antiseptic solution.
I think so. There are shelves in the center of the room with medicine and surgical tools.
Hey, look there. The 4 doors at the end. The left door says 3. The second door is blank, but the third has a 7. And the rightmost door is 8. There's no doubt. They're numbered doors.
Hey, why is that door between 3 and 7 blank? Does that mean anything?
No point worrying about it right now. Let's see if these will open first.
Yeah.
Yep, locked. Just like I thought.
Naturally. After all, there are rules to the nonary game, and to allow these doors to open easily would violate those rules, unless we can authenticate ourselves with...
Whoa, check this out. Look at the red. There's nothing on it.
Huh?
Don't you remember the red back at the main staircase? If there wasn't anyone in it, it said vacant on the little screen, remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But this one,
There's nothing.
right? You think it's...
Only one way to find out.
It's easy to be less annoyed at the characters describing everything around them when I just imagine that they're being considerate of the blind person. It's actually quite nice.
No, nothing.
How about the red on door 7? And door 3?
I didn't think all of them would be malfunctioning.
What does it mean?
They've got to be broken. Man, that bastard. I didn't think Zero was the kind of guy who'd screw around with something like this.
Whoa. Zero's been prepared for everything so far, and you're saying he's gonna make a mistake now?
Well, that's the only thing I can think of. This thing ain't working at all.
It seems as if some of the internal hardware has been removed.
Internal hardware?
That is what I said. Take a look at the underside of this red, if you please.
The bottom? Huh, there's a thin slot here. I think it's a slot for something, probably electronic.
The other 2 reds are the same. Something's been removed from all 3 of them.
I get it. So the reds are...
Okay.
So
But why? And who? I mean, it really doesn't make sense.
I have no idea. Why on earth would I know something like that?
Oh, what now? June! Ace! Santa! Clover! And Lotus!
Guess everyone's here.
What are you guys doing?
Why are you...
That's my line?
Perhaps we should exchange information.
Yay, Bato's back!
And that's what we know.
Well, this isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going.
What about that big hallway? Maybe there's somewhere in there we might be able to go.
No, there's nothing there. The 5 of us had a quick look. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else.
You mean all those doors are for hospital rooms?
Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one.
There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked.
It had one of those solar system mark things on it.
It was the Jupiter symbol.
Jupiter.
I wonder what it means.
While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room? I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this.
Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are it's the Gigantic.
The Gigantic?
What is this gigantic?
The Gigantic.
How does this guy just
She was
know?
a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century. Actually, the Titanic had 2 sister ships, and they looked exactly the same. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. They intended to make her a passenger liner like the Titanic, but World War I began soon after the ship launched. The British Navy took her over and made her a hospital ship. At some point during the war, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She ran aground afterwards, so she didn't end up sunk. What happened to her after that? One theory going around is that a man named Lord Gourdane bought her. Seemed like he'd been one of the few to survive the Titanic sinking. That trauma turned him into some kind of obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. Soon enough, the guy wanted the Titanic itself. Which was impossible, of course. It's stuck at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. But the Gigantic wasn't. And seeing as she was identical...
So you're saying this Lord Gourdane bought this ship?
Yeah, at least I think I am.
That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old.
Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof?
Proof?
Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic.
Well, this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So, I just figured.
Oh, for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason.
No, I've got more.
Like?
Well, I mean... I don't know.
I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
Yeah, sorry about that. Huh. A bell.
It sounds like the clock in the main stairway. 10, 11, 12. Huh, 12.
It's been 3 hours.
It's midnight. Then we've still got 6 hours left, right?
Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
We've looked everywhere in this room, but we haven't found anything.
Right.
That only leaves one place to look.
One?
Well, not just one.
Huh?
Wait. Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms.
Well, you already checked some of them out before you came.
We each checked a single room, so 5 rooms in total.
All right then, that's 5 rooms we don't have to search. We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each of us can do 6 rooms apiece, we'll have the other 48 rooms cleared in no...
There are 48 other rooms?
Maybe?
All right,
So he
so
clearly
everyone
worked
knows
on
which
the
area
ship.
they're searching?
Yeah.
Yes!
We'll all meet up when the clock goes off again. How about in that room with all the beds?
Yeah. Sounds straightforward enough.
I'll shout if I find any of the...
I hope we can find...
If we can't, then we'll just have to come up with another plan.
Right.
Then let's do this. It's a 1. I better get back to the others. Huh? What are they doing over there? What happened, guys?
Jumpy, look!
Vacant? Come on, guys. Who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it.
Well...
What the hell? What is up with you guys?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
You don't know?
When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red.
So it's possible this wasn't set up by Zero, and it is actually just one of us that... well, we'd have to, like, I don't know, was anybody apart from the groups before?
What? Let me see. You're right. It's in there. What about the other two?
They're the same.
Let me take a look. It's just... Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here, right?
Correct.
None.
Huh. Wait a minute. Where's Snake? Does that mean that he found them?
I've no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't either.
I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person.
Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to?
Maybe he's lost.
Yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place.
No! That's impossible! Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see. So he couldn't get lost. That's impossible. I'm gonna go look for him.
Hey, hold on, Clover. Wait! Well, that didn't work. Damn it. What should we do now?
Well, the red is working now.
No! We're not leaving two people behind! We should go look for them!
Oh man, this ain't good.
Oh, yes, what an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more by looking for a couple of idiots.
Then remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time. We've only 5 hours left.
Let's split up.
All right, I'll take this direction.
Then I shall look that way.
I'll be over here.
See you all later.
All right, we should go too.
Yes, let's go! But where should we start?
Let's see. Oh, what about the first-class cabin on B deck?
Okay, let's go, Jumpy.
Are you all right? Look, I know you're really worried, but...
Lone.
Hmm?
Alone. I said leave me alone! You're so annoying! Just go away and leave me alone! Just looking at you guys is pissing me off! Go away, okay? Just go somewhere else! Stop bothering me! Why are you still here? Didn't you hear me? Huh? Fine, forget it. If you aren't gonna leave, then I'll just...
All right, let's go, June.
Yeah.
Damn.
We really need to find Snake, for Clover's sake. So, where do you think we should go next? How about the casino?
Let's go take a look.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake.
I'm just not seeing it.
Really? Maybe you need to look harder.
I don't think that's the problem.
Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it?
What is it?
Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we team up?
Team up?
Yeah. What? You need me to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door?
Even if we wanted to, that's impossible.
Why?
Jumpy's bracelet number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8. Our digital route would be 1. But there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are 3, 7, and 8.
Then we add another person.
Huh?
Who?
What, isn't that easy? 7.
Oh, if we add 7, 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 equals 26. The digital root of 26... Wait a minute. What about the other 4? Ace, Snake, Santa, and Clover.
Well, why don't you add them up?
1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. And 1 plus 0 equals... The digital root for those 4 would be 1.
That's right.
And you know the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room.
Of course I know that.
No! Are you saying you'd leave them behind?
Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am? Once we get off the ship, we could come back and rescue them, couldn't we? Then we wouldn't really be leaving them behind.
Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you'd do anything of the sort.
Really? Why do you think that?
You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left. Even if we manage to escape, there's no way we could come back to rescue them in less than 5 hours.
Well, you never know until you try.
No, you're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship. The 4 of us couldn't open door 9. It is
This is
hidden,
why they can't
but
make
an exit
choices,
can be
man.
found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Yeah, that's right. The digital route for the 4 of us would be 8, so we'd have to add Ace to make 9.
That's right. Unless we bring Ace too, we'll be stuck.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate. That's all you have to say?
Well, let's try and find another way, okay? A way to get out of here with all 8 of us.
That's impossible. Are you being serious? And you do know that only 5 people, at most, can go through one of the numbered doors. The number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind.
Huh?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. No. Wait just a second. You're skipping over a really big detail. Is that really okay? That means 3 people will die in the end. That's just...
Do you think I could have a moment alone? There are some things I need to think about.
That didn't turn out to be a very pleasant conversation.
Yeah. Well, regardless, let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay?
Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later.
Yeah. Alright, where should we go next? Let's go take a look at the first class. No one's here. Maybe we'll have more. But where?
I already went there, okay.
Hey, we can take a look at that.
Okay, let's get...
Oh!
Hey, Snake! Where are you? Answer me if you're there!
Let's go.
Ah, hello there. Snake is... Well, that's obvious, isn't it? I assume you haven't found him yet?
Yeah, doesn't seem like you're having any luck either.
I really wonder where he could have gone.
Well, wherever he's disappeared to, we must find him as quickly as we can.
Right.
By the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings?
Why would you say that?
Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all.
Yes, you know, now that you mention it, they don't. Still, there are a great many siblings who do not look like one another. It certainly isn't rare. At any rate, we really must find Snake as soon as possible. The clock is ticking. We really can't afford to waste any... Very well. Let's get back to the search, shall we? You can leave this area to me.
All right. Let's go, Jumpy.
Something about, like Ace said, finding Snake is our top priority. All right, where should we go next? Why don't we go back to the big...
Okay, let's...
Hey, wait. Santa? What are you doing?
Bothering everybody.
What? You can't tell? I'm checking out the red.
Why? Is there something bothering you?
What? It's not bothering you?
Huh?
The guts of this red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell put it back in here?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious too, but...
Who do you think did it?
I don't know.
Well, what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for us?
Well, it seems like it would have to be Snake, wouldn't it? Maybe he got back here before any of us. He found the parts somewhere, put them back, and then went through one of the numbered doors.
No, that's not possible. You have to authenticate with at least 3 people, or the red won't open the door. There's no way a single person could get through there by themselves.
He could have had, I don't know if maybe he took 9's bracelet, because we didn't go back in there to check. Maybe somebody took it, because Snake was with us, so if he had, no, let's see, 9, so it'd be 2. Is there a 2 door? I don't think there's a 2 door.
Yeah, so another one of us is the person who fixed the red.
Bingo! We have a winner!
But if that's true, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know that they fixed it.
Yeah.
But why?
No idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find out something else.
Something bad?
Dunno. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding. Of course, it could have something to do with Snake's disappearance.
You think maybe they did something to Snake?
Yeah. Look, if you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose.
Can't be Lotus. Could be Ace. Could be Ace.
You've gotta be careful. The person you trust the most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back.
Yeah, we already know it's June.
And
we already
that's
know
that,
June.
I guess.
We already know it's June. Lamb figured this out. Look at her laughing. That's the laugh of somebody that knows she's getting away with an evil plot. Yep, because 6 plus 2 is 8, so she killed Snake and threw him. Yeah, she fixed it, and then she threw him in one of the doors, right? And then closed, and then waited for it to close so that he would get blown up, right? That's exactly what happened. We probably would have heard the explosion, though, is the only thing. We probably would have heard the explosion. Maybe?
Snake hasn't been anywhere we've searched. And we can't keep looking for him. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving.
We don't got a choice. Lotus is right. We're not gonna find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've got to figure out who's gonna go through which door.
Yes, I have a proposal. Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice?
Sacrifice?
Well, perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word, but yes. You've all figured it out by now, haven't you? We can't all make it through those doors. If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind.
Yeah, teams of 4 and 3. So we're already excluding Snake there. I mean, are we leaving behind Clover? Wait, so we're leaving... Yeah, so there's 8 people total, leaving 1 behind. So technically leaving Snake behind, I guess, is what we're probably going to be doing here, and then we're going to have to take Clover with us, and then Clover is going to be really mad, and she's going to do some crazy shit, probably. Yeah, it was her idea. 1 second.
Wait a minute. 2 people get left behind if we split into 5 and 2. And 1 person is left behind if we split into 3, 3, and 1. I got that part. You can't go through the numbered doors with any less than 3 people. But if we split into 4 and 3, then why do 3 people have to be left behind?
Just run the numbers. Let's say we go through door 7. With who's left over?
That would be 3, 7, 8.
What's the digital root for that?
3 plus 7 plus 8 is 18.
Exactly. But door 9 isn't here, right? That means 3, 7, 8 won't be going anywhere. That was just an example, of course. There are a lot of different combinations, but the result will always be the same. It doesn't matter which 4 it is. The 3 that are left over can't go through any of the doors. Go ahead and calculate it if you have the time. You'll see. Anyway, that's how it is. Now, if we can get back to my proposal. We only have to sacrifice 1 person if we split into 3, 3, and 1.
Then you're saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind.
Yes, we do. Given our circumstances, it's logically and morally the best solution. If the other 6 are to survive, then 1 person has to sacrifice themselves.
No, that's too cruel!
What's so cruel about it?
To just sacrifice someone like that?
Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1.
That's not what I meant! We shouldn't sacrifice anyone!
I told you, that's impossible. Wake up.
Whoa, calm down, you two. Look, what Lotus is trying to say is, you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right?
Exactly. That's how democracy works. And for that reason, I think the only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote. What do you think?
No! That's terrible!
I mean, I would think first we should see if anybody is willing to, like, be the sacrificial lamb and, like, hold out hope that you can come back within the 5 hours, I guess. And if nobody volunteers, yeah, it's a dubious moral choice, right? Because you can provide the most happiness to the greatest amount of people this way. But you will be doing a grave, horrible thing to 1 person.
I'm not asking you. Shut up. What about you, Santa?
Me? Well, I agree, I guess.
All right, that's 1 vote for. Counting mine, that's 2. 7.
I can't say I agree with you, but we don't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die.
Oh, glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, then it's decided. What about you, Clover? Hey, Clover. Your brother has to be behind 1 of the numbered doors. We've searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to have gone through 1 of them somehow? Let's go look for him together, okay?
He has no way of being alive if that's the case.
If we sacrifice 1 person, then we can go look for him. You agree with me, right?
Okay.
The motion carries. Now, let's start a vote to...
That won't be necessary. I will stay. That should solve our problem.
Of course it's Ace.
Ace,
You're the easiest
what are you
number to
saying?
add.
No, you can't do that! That won't solve anything!
So we got... Aside from you're missing 1 and 2, so we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
June, I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself.
Huh?
I trust you. Each and every one of you. I believe you'll come back for me.
Whoa. There's optimistic, and then there's just nuts. Those doors only go 1 way. You go in, you don't come out. If we go through them...
You won't be able to return, correct?
Yeah.
True, but that will not be the case once you've escaped from the ship.
What?
Please, I beg you, Once you've escaped, come back and rest, ideally
I don't wanna
within the time
sacrifice
limit Zero has
Bato.
given us.
No, that's ridiculous. There's no way we could get back in time. We've only got 5 hours left. We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we gonna find someone to come and rescue you?
Then, perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me? Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind? You see, there's no other choice. Then I see we've come to our conclusion. Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me. Go, quickly.
Good. Let's accept his kind offer then.
Good. I think this is the best for me.
These two, I don't think I like
Perhaps I'll be able to take
1
a nap.
and 8. I don't think I like 1 and 8 being in agreement with each other right now. I don't. This is not good. This is not a good. This is
It
not
may be
good.
my age, but I get tired so easily these days.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Because, okay, if they get one of... So you don't blow up if you go through the door and you don't bring everybody with you, you blow up. If you don't go through the door, everybody who goes through the door blows up. They need to get through 3, 7, or 8. They don't have the... She doesn't have the route to get out just by herself, so she can't go through 8 by herself. Right? And they can't, 1 and 8 together can't go through one of the doors. They need somebody, they need other people to open one of the doors. Then, maybe. I'm trying to figure out her game.
We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry it up?
You're right. We should get going. That's all we can do right now.
7.
Seriously. Honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk.
You too, Santa? I have to find my brother. Wait, all of you. Let's just calm down and think about this. There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be. Right, Jumpy? Say something.
Yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way.
Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out on my own.
Yay, the team's splitting up.
Ace!
Somebody's gonna die. Somebody's gonna die, and we're not gonna have to worry about a sacrifice.
Come on, Ace. Please stand up. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here. Ace! What happened? Ace, say something.
I'm all right.
How are you all right?
This.
A syringe? Soparil beta. What does this do? Did you use this?
Yes. It's just anesthetic. I'll be fine.
Anesthetic?
I found it earlier. While we were searching the hospital rooms, I thought it might be useful later. I didn't think I'd be using it on myself.
Why did you do this?
Didn't I tell you? I'd like to take a nap. I really am very tired.
Ace.
Is there something you want to say? I just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down?
No, don't, Ace. Don't fall asleep.
You feel warm. So comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream.
Ace! Ace!
Let's get him up on a bed.
Bro was just like, nah,
Well,
I'm
we
spectating
really don't
this
have a
round.
choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste. right?
Like you even mean that.
You say something?
No, nothing.
Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door.
Ah, yes. Yes, that's true.
Enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want?
I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number.
Got it. You're 8. You're next, 7. Which one do you want?
I'll take 7. I can't get along with that old lady.
What? What did you just say?
Who, me? I didn't say nothing.
Oh, you're gonna get it next time.
All right, who's next? Junpei, which door do you want?
So 7 would be... How can I even get to 7? Plus 6 plus 7. Oh wait, I'm going with 7. 3. I think I'm going with over 8. I think I'm going with. So 8 plus 13. That would be Clover and her. Go door 8.
I think I'm gonna go with door 8.
Okay, 8 it is.
Yeah.
All right then. That means June's got to go through 7.
What? Why?
What?
If the 6 of us are gonna keep going without leaving anyone behind, there are only 3 ways we can do. Have 3, 5, and 8 go through 7, and 4, 6, and 7 go through 8. 4, 5, and 7 go through 7, and 3, 6, and 8 go through 8. Or 3, 6, and 7 go through 7, and 4, 5, and 8 get 8. There are no other combinations. In other words, 3 and 4 and 7 and 8 can never go through the same doors. You get it now?
Oh no! You're saying we aren't gonna see each other again for...
Last time it was like an hour, bitch.
Hey, come on. You're making it sound like we're never gonna see each other again. We gotta split up, but only for a while. This is just like when we went into the 4 and 5 doors, remember? We got split up then too, but we all met back up. I'll bet 7 and 8 are just like that.
You mean they're connected somewhere?
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm sure they're gonna connect somewhere.
Why? What makes you think so?
If they don't, then neither team can get through door 9. In other words, the game would end right here. Zero's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now. I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun as long as possible. He's not gonna end this game until we get through the 9 door.
Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna see each other again. I promise.
Yes. Promise?
You guys are done, right? Anyway, that's pretty much it. Clover and I will both go into separate groups. I figure I'll take 7 and Clover can take 8. Any problems with that, Clover?
Whatever.
All right, we're ready to go then. Let's move.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then shall we go?
It's open.
Okay.
Hurry!
June.
Jumpy.
What the hell are you doing? "81 seconds left."
Ugh.
It stopped.
Pointless.
What an unpleasant girl. I bet she's not very popular with the boys.
Maybe pairing these two together was a mistake. Too late now. I better catch up to them.
Oh, it's a dead end. There's a door on the left, though.
A laboratory?
Oh, that doesn't sound very pleasant. I don't like the look of this place.
Me either. But there aren't any other doors. It's not like we have a lot of choices.
Junpei,
Huh?
please, you first.
Ugh, fine. You know, I think the window looks into another room.
Maybe it's for monitoring something.
What the hell?
Ugh, it looks so creepy.
It's kind of like that doll is waiting for surgery.
This is a laboratory, right? I'd say it's more like it's waiting to be experimented on.
Ooh.
It's creepy either way. You don't think that thing's gonna suddenly sit up or something, do you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, look at all those cables sticking out of it. If we press the wrong button, I don't know.
Stop it. Just thinking about it is terrifying.
Wait, where's Clover? What is she? Are you okay?
What are you talking about?
What? I'm just worried about you. You've been real quiet.
What? I can't be quiet if I want to?
Well, I mean, of course you can. I just...
Okay then. If I can be quiet if I want, just leave me alone, okay?
Come on, you know I can't do that. We gotta work together.
Junpei, you just don't get it! My brother's not the kind of person who'd just leave me behind! Something happened to him! Something bad.
Yeah.
What happened?
Look, just don't bother me, okay? Leave me alone.
Hey, wait, Clover! Hold on! That way is...
I told you to leave me alone!
Clover, watch out above you!
What the heck? What's going on here?
Fucking women.
Hang on. I'll get it open.
Women in their fucking feelings, making decisions based off emotions. This is why they can't have rights.
Oh, for crying out. You'll never do it on your own.
Damn it! It's not moving.
Wait! Are you gonna give up? Just like that?
No, I'm not giving up. This has got to be another one of Zero's puzzles.
If it is, then there's gotta be a way to open it.
Just what I was thinking. Now all we gotta do is find it. Lotus and I can look around out here. Clover, you're gonna have to see if you can find anything in there.
Oh, yes, I'm on it.
Go way out. Okay. So, lab room. Alright. I'm actually gonna go eat dinner. I'll probably end the stream for tonight. But I will pick this back up tomorrow. We'll probably just start off with gaming unless I get some stuff prepared. I want to go do that. I had some shit that I got half prepared today and I didn't even get through it, but I'm gonna try to set that up and go eat. Alright. It was fun streaming. Have a good one. Take care. Thank you, Lamp, for sticking around. Yeah, I'm gonna try to go longer. I'm still getting my eating schedule down, I guess, because I tend to feel a little bit peckish. Maybe if I take a halfway break, because right now if I go take a break, I'm just gonna only stream for another 40 minutes or whatever. Anyways, bye.